Gracious, I did it. Hi, everyone. I had a little technical senior moment, I guess, but I figured it out. So let's see who's here. Hi, everybody. Grumpy old mother, I love your name. I'll get to your question in a moment. I'm just going to say hi to everybody real quick. Hi, Mia. Hi, Isaiah. Hi, David. Hi, Meg. Hi, Yvonne. Okay, well, let's get started with everyone's questions. I'm so glad you're joining me this morning. Okay, Grumpy. Is Amazon available in your area? Absolutely, it is, which is fantastic. Not just in the city of Medellin, but all the surrounding areas. I live in El Oriente, which is southeast of Medellin, about, depending upon where you live, between 30 and 40 minutes from Medellin. And you just have to specify your Colombian address and your regular Prime account. You then have to spend a minimum of $35 for free shipping. So when you log into Amazon, make sure you click on an address to ship to in Colombia. Otherwise, it's going to think you're still in the United States. So you have to put an address in, and then you will click in the search eligible for free shipping. Again, eligible for free shipping. And then there you'll see all the products. You can do normal search and everything. And just about everything, unless it's something huge or something super, super heavy, like a huge lithium battery or something, it's going to ship for free. And I even tested it by putting a US address in, my former address, and the prices were the same. Just make sure on Amazon, everyone, that your total order, again, is at least $35. So you'll get that free shipping, but have it be under $200 total. That's not per item, but total bill. And the reason for that is it will ship tax-free. You'll have no sales tax, no duty. But if you go over the $200, then you will pay duty, and that's expensive. So just keep your order small. I ordered 2 of something that were over $100 each, for instance. And I just ordered one day and the second matching thing the next day, and they both came duty free. And Meg is saying hi from South Carolina. She says, I am here only for a minute. Oh, Meg, well, hello for a minute. But wanted to put out my question. Are there places to play pickleball? Yes, there are tons of tennis courts, pickleball places, and something else that's really kind of cool. I have it in one of my videos. It's called padel ball. That's spelled Padel. And it's just like pickleball, only you're encased in this crystal glass, non-breakable glass, and it kind of bounces off the walls too. It's really cool, but very, very popular, all of those. Hi, Juris Doctor. Okay, who's next with the question? I'm going to scroll up. Sorry, guys, I'm not very good at this, and I don't want to miss anybody's question. Okay, Mia wants to know where exactly I live. I live in El Retiro. She's asking if I live in El Retiro or in Rio Negro. And what I want everyone to understand is something, and I always do this silly little thing when I do video consults with people. I need to actually make a map and learn how to, on a Zoom call, share it. But I'm going to do what I normally do. So let's say this is the area here. You're going to have like a dot like here that says El Retiro, and it's backwards, so I'm not doing it, and a dot over here that says Rio Negro. But El Retiro, I can't point because it's mirroring. But if you just take that oval and split it in half, all that region to the left is considered El Retiro. So it's a municipality. Same thing with Rio Negro. It's a municipality. And everything within those 2 municipalities is within 40 minutes of me. And I'm on the far end of El Retiro. I'm the very far side. So just keep that in mind, everyone, when you're looking at a map. Don't just look at the pin or the dot on the map, because that's going to show you the downtown Pueblo, or in the case of Rio Negro, the downtown area of Rio Negro. And then within these regions, there are other beautiful pueblos. For instance, we have El Carmen, we have La Ceja, we have the neighborhoods of Llano Grande and Gualanday. It just goes on, and there's beautiful places all throughout here. I don't want everyone to think that El Retiro is the only place to be, because very close by are wonderful, wonderful places. Oh, someone's saying hi to Petunia, and she's just this mirror thing. Oh, she's not on the couch. I don't know where she is, but she'll come and see us soon, I'm sure. Let's see her. Hi, Yvonne from New York City. I love New York City. I'm a big fan of that city. I just think it's the cultural hub of the world. I just love it there. Oh, look at everybody. Hi, Faye. Hi, Janet, Carolina, Jay Clements. Okay, so let's get down to questions. Oh, Renee is already in Colombia. I actually, YouTube gives me stats kind of like where my viewers are watching from, and I have over 30% Colombian viewers, and not just expats in Colombia. And I'm not talking about Colombians that are living in, say, the US or Canada or Europe. What I'm talking about are people here in Colombia that are Colombian. And it's the sweetest thing. I can't tell you how many comments I get saying this, and I think it's so, so lovely, where I'm told, "Thank you, Nana, for reminding me," a viewer will say, "of how beautiful and incredible my country is." Sometimes when you're living in your own country, everyone, you kind of take things for granted. And so in a sense, here I am, an outsider that arrived, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so incredible. I love this about it and that about it." And so, yes, it's I have a big Colombian following now, which is very exciting. I wish I could read and speak Spanish better and comprehend it better, but I'm getting there. But please, everyone, keep your written comments in English if you can. Oh, and Juris, I remember speaking with you. Yes, you're from Princeton, very close to where I was born. Mm-hmm. Yes, living close to a university. Oh, so you can teach English and get dating opportunities. Well, I hope that you're in a close age range to the students there, Juris. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm having a little bit of an allergy thing right now. And I don't know why. I normally don't have bad allergies. So there's tons of universities to answer your question. There's a couple in Rio Negro, as well as in Medellin, fantastic universities and places to speak, not to speak, to teach Spanish, and also in the private school system and in the public school system for undergrad. Winding Down wants to know, hi, Nana, are expats able to rent there? Not in a big city, but some way in a smaller place. Thank you. Yes, expats can rent. One of the reasons why I always suggest a consult and to come here and to actually go on a tour too is the real estate system in Colombia, as progressive as I just go on and on about how progressive this country is. It is very old fashioned when it comes to real estate, and a lot of it's word of mouth. It's complicated. So I would suggest book a consult with me, and I'll be able to answer your questions on the very best way to find a rental. But you really do have to physically be here. What most people do that decide to move here is they move into an Airbnb like on a 30-day basis and just renew it if necessary. And that way they can take their time on the ground too. Because if you want to find the most beautiful places and the best deals, that's the way to do it. There's next to nothing on the internet. So that's the best way to go. Gordon, yes, Santa Marta. I haven't been there, but I have traveled throughout the Caribbean my entire life. I've been to so many countries or islands, if you will, there. And Gordon is saying how beautiful Santa Marta is. And Santa Marta is part of Colombia. In fact, people have to correct me in my history, but during the Panama Canal days, there were some trade-offs and things that went on with governments, including the US. I think it happened then. Again, I might have my history wrong, but Colombia was given Santa Marta, and I forget the name of the other island, to be theirs in exchange for some other things, because those two places are not like right off the coast of Colombia. They're actually off the coast of Central America, but they are part of Colombia. So. Okay, Grumpy Old Mother wants to know how much to rent a furnished apartment similar to yours. Not too many furnished apartments here for long-term rentals. So most likely it would be unfurnished. One my size, I have a small apartment, would probably be around 1,000, 1,100, somewhere around there. I have mentioned before and actually shown on the outside of the building apartments that are in beautiful areas that are as little as 500 a month. But I would say in general, you should expect to be paying at least 700 a month here. This is considered, this whole region, sort of a luxury area of Colombia. I always call it the Hamptons of Medellin. So it is considered higher end for Colombians, but it's extremely affordable for us. And we get a lot in return. I mean, where can you rent in the United States an apartment that looks like mine with a view like mine for 1,000 or $1,100 a month? I mean, you just can't. So, and it's gated, amenities, security 24/7, with guards at the gate, and it's just amazing all that you get. So just keep that in mind. It's all relative here. Okay. And please, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. It's beautiful though. Luz Angela. Uh, what recommendation can you give to a Colombian who wants to retire in Colombian but lived for 25 years in the USA? Well, what I can tell you, Luz Angela, is that is happening right and left. And simply because, and it's true with other people that were born in the United States, wanting to leave because your dollar just doesn't stretch the way it does anymore. And it's next to impossible, to live on one's Social Security, even that included with other pensions and maybe some savings and whatnot, is becoming harder and harder. So that is actually a common thread in the consults that I do. And I recommend that you do a consult with Juli. That's Juliana Franco. And her link is below every video of mine in the description. She is an expert concierge. She is an immigration, insurance, and taxes expert. And you will get so much out of that hour. I mean, I cannot even tell you. And she has explained, some people have consulted with her that are from Colombia originally and have very complicated types of documents. And she understands it all. And she has moved people here for over 12 years that are Colombian, as well as other nationalities into the US, into Colombia. So she understands all that, and you'll have nothing to worry about. Just talk to her. Joaquin. Hi, Nana. I was born in Medellin, left Colombia in 1978. How did you adapt so well to Colombia? Whereas my wife and I have not been able. I'm really surprised. I love it here. Everyone else, you can watch my videos and see why I do. Let's see if you say why. Um, oh, but you're saying food. You say your wife and I have not been able to, meaning adapt to Colombia. Um, But the next sentence, you say Colombia is beautiful, food is amazing, and love your channel. So, well, good. I love it. I love it here as well. Uh, let's see here. I don't want to forget anybody's comments here. Hi, Fred. Oh, thank you. Above that, thank you, Joe F. He's asking everyone to show me some love and hit the like button. That's so sweet of you, Joe. Thank you for asking everyone. And Fred, hi, Nana. I'm Fred. I live in Bogota. Can you explain how to get your driver's license? I hear so many different things. Well, you can drive on your state driver's license from the US with a tourist visa, and that's renewable as well. So you can come on a tourist visa for 90 days. It can be renewed for another 90 days, either at a separate time or consecutively, or even separate multiple times. So you can use your US driver's license for up to 6 months total in Colombia. And then after that, there are a few steps. Again, I keep referring everyone to Juli. She is a master of all things. And my process was seamless with her and not difficult at all. And I know that people that try to do that sort of thing on their own oftentimes run into glitches and issues, and it's not. And it's true, if you move to a foreign land and you don't really understand the bureaucracy, I say this so often: hire an expert, hire an expert when it comes to anything that's bureaucratic. So that includes your visa, your cedula, which is your government ID, your health insurance, any other type of insurance, and then of course what you were just asking about, driver's license. Kevin asks, hi, Kevin. Are there high quality hospitals near you, or do you have to travel to Medellin? Well, actually, one of the best hospitals in Medellin has another location in Rio Negro, and it's actually right next to the airport. So it's really convenient for everyone in El Oriente. I can be there in about 20 minutes. And it's called San Vicente. That's SAN, next word, V as in Victor, ICENTE. So if you put those two words into a Google search and your next word is Rio Negro, and by the way, Rio Negro is not two words, Black River, it's connected. So you put Rio and Negro together as one word, and I probably put Colombia in as well. And immediately it'll pull up that location. And I'm a big person, as you can tell, for aesthetics. That hospital from the outside looks like an award-winning piece of architecture. It's magnificent. The hummingbird logo is huge on the outside of the building. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I hear if you stay there, which I haven't had the pleasure, fortunately, I haven't had to check in to a room in the hospital, but apparently they have that logo on like the sheets and the towels and everything if you're a patient there. So they also have English speaking concierges there. So I actually had to see a doctor, not an emergency, but I wasn't and still not good on the phone. So I went there in person, and they immediately assigned a concierge to me. And then she took me to the appointment desk and everything so I could make a doctor's appointment there. So it's a fantastic hospital. Oh, Avery is saying go to AAA for an international license. I'm going to have to correct you, Avery. There's really very few countries that I know of in South America even recognize that. What I said earlier is true. No, that doesn't make any difference. You can have a state of Idaho driver's license, or you can go to AAA. I don't even know if they still exist. They're so old fashioned, but yeah, you don't need that. You just come with your US driver's license. You can drive up to the entire length of your tourist visa. So let's say you come for 90 days, that entire 90 days, you can drive on your state's driver's license from the United States. And then you can keep driving on a tourist visa, and that's because the visa can be good for another 90 days beyond that. So that's what you use. And then after that, no, there is no international driver's license recognized. I know years ago for Europe, you needed that. And again, that was a short period of time for just when you were traveling, in Europe or whatnot. But I think it was just a money-making thing. It's really not necessary. Gemini man, hi. Oh, thanks, Luz Angela. I'm glad I pronounced your name right. Okay, Janet has asked a tax question. Does Colombia charge expats taxes on their retirement income? Well, yes and no. And in most cases, you're going to be absolutely fine. When you look at things online, sometimes you just see blanket statements. And what I want to explain to you is that it's very important, not only here in Colombia, but in the United States, to have, again, an expert accountant in the United States and an expert accountant in Colombia. And you will be pleased as punch, I promise you. But I don't give any tax advice. I don't explain anything because I am not an accountant. And every person's situation is different. They may have, other forms of income, other, different things going on that changes tax structure. So it's best to consult with an expert. Juliana, again, Juli Franco, whose link is beneath every video in the description. She works with two of the top attorneys in our region and two of the top accountants as well. And so if you book a consult with her without even having to book a consult directly with the accountant, I mean, she can just give you a very clear idea of what it is that you can expect, before actually hiring an accountant. I mean, you don't need that if you're not here yet. Okay, Lewis, hi. Lewis says, good morning. Which is the best method to go from the airport to El Retiro? Uber, taxi, how much is the average fee? There aren't always Ubers at the airport. They're really not supposed to be, and that's true in a lot of countries and cities and things like that. If you can catch an Uber, fine, but there's plenty of taxis there. And El Retiro, it's only going to take you less than half an hour. Not a big deal, and very, very easy. It's very clear. When you come out of customs, you have your bags, you go right outside. But we always suggest either taxi or Uber. Don't try to tackle the bus system and to save. It's so inexpensive. Taxis and Ubers are so inexpensive here. I mean, you're going to be at the end of a day of travel, and don't put yourself through trying to find the right bus, to get you to the right place. That's what we suggest. Okay, Jasmine. Hello. Jasmine asks, can you talk about property insurance, earthquake, water, fire coverage, and that sort of thing? Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a broker. If you do a consult with Huli, she can put you in touch with somebody that can give you an exact quote, but probably don't need that if you don't own anything here yet. And let me tell everyone this too, that it's a little bit different here as far as working with expert people. And it's kind of frowned upon if someone's not ready, like that's just kind of checking the country out from another country. Professionals are super busy, and it's kind of looked down upon a little bit. And oftentimes you'll reach out and you won't hear back from an insurance agent. They're very busy, and they only want to do quotes, and work with you if you actually are, buying something here. And I can understand that. But going back to your question, what I can do, sorry guys, having a little bit of an allergy. Um, What you can do is just go by this, roughly speaking, my personal experience. The insurance is, for me, is no different than what was offered in the US. I don't live in an earthquake zone, so I don't have to worry about it. But I have my apartment completely covered for fire, theft, water, wind, everything. I never even thought to ask about earthquake. I'll have to check with my agent and see if that's covered or not. But I don't, and again, I don't remember numbers well. I'm really bad with numbers, so I don't want to say what I pay. I'm so sorry. But feel free, when this goes off live stream and goes into like the recorded, on my channel, just ask that in the comments because I can look that up. It's reasonable. It's things in Colombia are, a lot of things are like not even like 75% less, but in some cases like 90% less than in the United States. Other things are more comparable. So, like, I know my auto insurance and my home insurance is less expensive than it is in the US, but it's not like a quarter of the price like other things are, if that makes sense. And the company that I used is probably the most well known. They're excellent. Is Sura, Sura. Oh, thank you, Nicolau. Yeah, Charles Schwab is definitely the way to go as far as when you're traveling really anywhere, because it's a checking account you get with them. They're a brokerage firm, by the way, in the US, similar to Merrill Lynch. So you have no minimum deposit for they call it investor checking, but you don't have to be an investor with them. There's no minimum deposit. There's no monthly service fee for the checking account. And then they give you a check card, which is, you can use it just like you do your other bank cards. It works like credit. You don't have to put a PIN number in every time. But there's no fees for when you use the ATM, for instance. So when you go to get cash or you go to a restaurant, use it anywhere. And plastic, by the way, in Colombia is accepted just about everywhere, unless it's maybe a street vendor. So you you have with the Charles Schwab card, they not only give you a very good conversion rate, you always want to decline the conversion rate that the ATM machine offers you because it's usually going to be really bad. And then they do not charge foreign transaction fees. A lot of people don't realize this when they travel. If they're using the regular bank card, or let's say it's a Capital One credit card or whatever, and it's not one that gives you that perk of no foreign transaction fees, that you will pay anywhere from another 2 to 5% every time you use it on that amount. So whether you go and get $100, equivalent out of an ATM, or you go out to lunch, you're going to be paying extra on your entire trip. So you don't want to do that. So again, Charles Schwab card is really just so beneficial. And I couldn't get, and it's true of anybody, you can't get your Colombian bank account usually unless you have your cedula. So it's after you get your migrant visa. Um, and so you can just exist on your Charles Schwab card. That's what I did. I'd go to the ATM, I'd get cash, but my card was accepted everywhere. So I didn't have a problem just living here for quite some time before I got my visa and my cedula. And then I opened a local account too. Aw, wherever we want 365. Gosh, I love that name. Says, hello, Nana. So glad to be able to join this time. We love your channel. Thank you so much. And I love you too. Thank you for watching. Oh, Katie. Hi, Katie. Is asking, is there anything like US assisted living for older people, or is it more usual to have live in helper? These are very good points. Would one need a separate apartment or cottage for an assistant? So let's start with the in-home helper. No, you could have somebody just in a guest room. The more swank properties actually have a maid's room, and those actually in newer homes, they're really not being built so much anymore because most people, even the uber rich, don't want somebody living in their home. They just have somebody that comes maybe every day and stays there all day. But no, you can hire a live-in caregiver very inexpensively here, and that's what most people do. But assisted living and retirement living is going on, and it's going on not only in Medellin but right by me. There is development under construction, and there's one I think is up and ready, and that's on my list. I've been, I've got a list, a honey-do list to myself of all the places. I don't know if I'll be given access, if they'll let me film there, whatnot. It's really interesting. I've been told no at some places, and I can understand that. And I'm not going to list the places that I've been told no. And probably a quality control thing. Sometimes, if it's a smaller business, it might be that they're sort of internet phobic, whatnot. In the case where I encountered that, it was a really old person that was just nervous about me photographing their business. So but most of the time, people super welcome it. So I hope to provide more information on that. But I think if you Googled that, you'd be able to find information on those places. So that's an up and coming thing for sure. And I'm just really curious. So everyone, let me know, how much they charge. And from what I was told, this place that's near me is also assisted living. So and morphing into nursing home, I think, too, if it came a time that you needed that. So, yes, that's a growing industry here, to answer your question. I just wish I knew more about it, but I will. Mia asks, is it safe to wear fine jewelry out being without being assaulted? I've read and heard and advised not to attract attention to avoid being assaulted. Well, first and foremost, I want to explain that I do not live in the big city. I do not live in Medellin. I live in, again, I will coin the phrase, I live in the Hamptons of Medellin. This is a very exclusive area. It's not like super touristy. It's incredible estates that they call fincas, beautiful gated apartment communities like mine. And this area, both the mayors of El Retiro, Rio Negro, and again, these are not just pueblos, they are counties, if you will. They call them municipalities here. They make so sure they're safe. I've never encountered anything like that. I have asked neighbors, I've asked all my expat friends, do you know anyone that's ever been assaulted or had something robbed right off of them, or even had a break-in their home? And all have said no. I only have one neighbor told me that they left a ton of luggage. They had to park far away after the airport, far away from a restaurant. They went down a road, it was not lit, left their car there. It got broken into when they were eating dinner. And yeah, so, but that happens anywhere in the US. So I'm not worried about being assaulted. I don't really own fine jewelry anymore. I'm not into it. All my stuff is costume. But to give you an example, I've done this before in live videos. Okay, these are fake, but they're big, clunky, gold looking earrings. If I go into Medellin, into the city, I don't wear these. I wouldn't wear this like even in Rome. There's places that are known for pickpockets and people grabbing things off you all over the world, places that you would think are safe as can be. And I wouldn't wear that type of thing. But where I live now, I have no qualms about even getting dressed up for dinner. I feel very comfortable and very safe here. But, use your common sense. Always be careful. Hi, Mastermind. I like your name, Mastermind Consulting. And Mastermind says, "Hi, Nana. It seems real estate prices have really increased in El Retiro. What are your thoughts on the market for a modern new apartment and the direction of the market?" Two, you're getting really specific. Two bedrooms, 80 square meters with a view. All I can say is inflation and things go on everywhere. There's a very strong real estate market where I am. I'll give you an example. I bought my apartment, which was two bedroom, and if you look at my tour, you'll see everything's backwards. It's good. Over there. No, no, it's this one. Over, over here. That was a wall, and where I'm sitting right now in my dining room is um is was a second bedroom. So I turned it into a one bedroom. So this was a two bedroom, and I bought it for 165,000, approximately with conversion, US, and it would sell now, and that's close to 2 years ago, like yeah, 19, 20 months ago. And if I sold it now, it would probably sell for around 180, 185. So that's good appreciation. One thing I do want to point out to everyone is the increase in the prices, not only in Medellin and surrounding areas, and all of Colombia. I mean, prices are going up, pretty much everywhere. And that's because Colombia is doing really well. It's not in my region, it's not expats. I mean, expats are less than 10%. Again, I don't have the stats, but I would say even less than 5%. It is so rare that I see a quote unquote gringo or Americano when I am out and about. Rare as rare can be. So, no, this increase in the value of homes is because more and more Colombians have successful careers, are university educated, doing just really, really well. And I love how progressive it is. I love the fact that we have incredible infrastructure here. I love the style, of the buildings that they make, everything about it. But it has to do with Colombians and their aesthetic and how well they're doing right now. So yeah, I would urge anyone that's thinking about buying, it's definitely not coming down in price. So the sooner that you do buy something here, the better. But also, as I always say, you never want to rush. If you're leaving a country and going to a new country, take your time, visit a couple of times, really, really look into things before you make the leap. I happen to, after visiting two times, I refuse to pay rent. I've never paid rent, and I fortunately had over the years paid off mortgages, and so I was able to buy here. And should I have probably waited, 6 months, a year? I don't know. I not for me. I didn't want to have a rent payment. So I went ahead and bought, but I knew how strong the market is here. And I knew that if for some reason after a year or two I wanted to leave, just Colombia wasn't for me, that I'd be able to sell it. So, and I always do nice things, as you can see all around me. I've never ever, even in the worst markets in the United States, I've never had a problem selling a home because people have liked it, and I've been able to sell it. So. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on in the real estate market here. So just to give everybody an idea. Okay. Hi, Avery. What did it cost to have an agency do immigration paperwork? I used Julie Franco. Again, she's my expert concierge. I wouldn't have been able to live. I would have made so many mistakes. I would have even hired not just experts, but attorneys. There's attorneys that do bad jobs with this kind of stuff. They don't give you the personal attention and stuff that I was recommended by a couple of other expats to use her. And oh my gosh. So anyway, her link is below, all my videos in the description. But to give you an idea, almost all visa services are going to run around like 900, maybe $1,000 total for your visa, and about half of that is government fees, and the other half goes to the agency or to, the paralegal, the legal, person, whoever you use. So that's generally what you can expect to pay. And some people don't want to pay those extra fees. They do it themselves. And every situation is different. And these laws and these regulations can change in a split second at all times. And I know for a fact because I just renewed my visa and Huli got everything done. I mean, I cannot even believe how fast she got it done and approved. I just like unbelievable. And also, what she does is her fee includes all the way through the cedula. So, and that's not true. So again, you're going to pay around $1,000 no matter who you use, but she's going to then get you your government ID, which is super important. You need that to get a bank account, to set up utilities in your own name, all that kind of stuff. It's so important to have that. And she does that all on her own personally for you. You don't have to keep going to that. It's horrendous office in downtown Medellin. I only had to go on the first trip so they could take my picture. She already had all the forms all done. She gave them that. And then after that, they don't tell you when your cedula is ready. And it's not like you can log into a website and find out or call them on the phone. No, you physically have to go down there and take a number, just like I did my first day. And you could sit there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, just to be able to go up to the front counter to one of the assigned people and then say, hey, is my cedula ready? And they'll go in back and they'll check. And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, no, it's not. So then you think, oh gosh, guess I better go back next week. And this will just go on and on and on and on. But Huli, she goes every week because she's been doing this for 12 years and she has a number of clients that have cedulas in process. So she's going there every week and she picks up whoever cedula is ready and she actually personally delivers it to you. So all in all, just I just can't recommend her enough. She's been a godsend for me. Oh, Juris Doctor, any dating tips, Nana, for a retired 45-year-old attorney? Well, Juris, I don't know if you're male or female, so I have no idea. I if I were in the US, something like Match.com or, I don't even know what they have anymore, eHarmony, those kinds of things. Um, I have done that before and felt comfortable. I think that Tinder is kind of the big thing here, but I would never suggest that in a foreign country where you don't know anybody and possibly you don't know the language and you could be taken advantage of in some way. I think the best way to meet people is to be active socially, and that's next to impossible unless you're a hermit to not have like stuff that you can do every single day. And I've gone into this before in my local area. There's so many different cultural centers. There's volunteer organizations. There's cultural centers where you could go take a cooking class, or there's so many opportunities. And the case with us expats, there are also expat groups you can join. So my suggestion would be to go out. Oh, another thing, because I have some problems with my knee and my pelvis, so I can't really dance and do sports. But yeah, join like a tennis group, horseback riding lessons, salsa dancing classes. Great places to meet people. So that would be my suggestion, Juris. Ohio. Hi, Ohio. Ohio is saying the worst thing about the visa process now is the background, fingerprint, apostle, translation, document requirements. Well, guess what, Ohio? It was no problem for me. Hooli did it all. And like I said, just in record time, it's super easy and got everything approved. Snap, snap, snap. She actually has a special way she does and submits your fingerprints to the FBI. I'm not giving away any of her techniques, but she is the best of the best. And I got my background check in, I think it was like 9 days, back approved from the FBI. So, and I've met since then some other expats that found out, I think not weeks, but months later, that the FBI rejected the thumbprint, something they didn't like about it. So, so then that messed up their whole visa application process. So anyway, I'm just happy with Huli. What can I say? Hardcore camping. How can you save and money and live with income tax at 39%? It's not. And again, I said this earlier, you have to have an expert accountant here and one in the US, and you will be pleasantly surprised, is all I can say. I don't give tax advice, but there's no possible way. I mean, you look at the expat channels that are here, and people, this area where I live in is not flooded in at all with expats, but there's quite a lot of them in Medellin. People wouldn't be moving here if that's the case. You have to have your tax return filled out by an accountant that's credible and knows their stuff and understands international tax law, and you'll be fine. That's, all I can say. I am so sorry, Adriana, but my Spanish is not adept enough to understand your question. So if you wouldn't mind putting it in a translator and sending again, um, I've lost my place a little bit. Oh, tourist is saying he's a male, and I don't even know why I said that. One of the well, I do know why I said that because for a female, and we're a little bit more vulnerable. I don't mean to be anti-feminist, but in any way, but I think there is, possible danger thing more so than for a man. So you might want to do Tinder again. I just am not a big fan of doing something like that in a foreign country. But all the other advice that I gave you, all the other ways to meet people here, I think you'll have no problem. P. Lucas says, I'd like to know if you live near a nursing home. I know that close to me is an assisted living that I think morphs into a nursing home, but I'm not sure. And I will get more information on that. As I explained earlier in the live, most people just get either somebody all day, every day to help them when they age here because it's so inexpensive, or even a live-in. So that's usually the route, but the assisted living slash nursing home route is something with all the progressiveness of Colombia in recent years and Colombians doing so well financially. Those are popping up all over. Oh, Mindy is asking, where and how do you suggest we start learning Spanish? I'm actually going to be interviewing my Spanish tutor. I had the good sense um, of realizing the Spanish was a little different in Colombia and than it is, say, in Mexico or it is in Spain. So I wanted a tutor that used all of the vocabulary, the pronunciation, everything that is typical of here. So I have a tutor who actually lives in Medellin, and my classes are one-on-one with him, very inexpensive, and for an hour. But Thanks to YouTube and all of you just being so sweet and subscribing and loving me so much. Oh my gosh. Between the lives and the consults I do and our tours and the filming, I have slacked off and don't do the classes with him as much as I should. But hopefully I'll be able to increase that again and get working on it more. But that's what I would suggest is to find somebody just locally here, and you can do that online. You can take your classes from the US, Canada, wherever it is you live, and just set it up that way. And Gordon's suggesting Duolingo and Babbel. Oh, absolutely. The apps are definitely helpful, but I think that having somebody that speaks and pronounces the right way is a good thing as well. Very, very helpful. I shouldn't say the right way. I'm sorry. The Colombian way. Yes, Ohio. I got my FBI background check back in 9 days after Huli did my fingerprints. Yep. She's unbelievable. The best. Oh my gosh. Everybody's talking to Joris about all sorts of things, dating, all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm trying to scroll. I'm trying to get off that subject here. Hold on, everybody. Oh, Grumpy has a very pertinent question. Would it be difficult to live in your area without a car? How much are Ubers? Um, well, my where I live is unusual. So I'm not in the typical El Retiro region. I chose an apartment, and you all can tell by my view in my other videos from my apartment here that I'm up as high as an airplane. I'm super high. I am up this more remote road, even though there are a few other condo communities. Not many. It's mostly private fincas, which are like ranches and stuff going up. And Ubers don't like coming up here. Occasionally, one might say they're coming and then they don't show up, kind of a thing. You know how Uber drivers can like drop you, and then Uber tries to find another one for you. So I don't even bother. But most of this area, I mean, the majority of it is Uber friendly, and the buses are super nice. They're privately owned companies, and a lot of my expat friends use buses and occasion rare instance Uber, and they're absolutely fine in this area. And I can't really quote you, but just a short ride that in the US would be like maybe $15 is like, $4 here kind of a thing, just roughly speaking. Again, I am not good remembering numbers, but I when I have had to take an Uber, I've been like, "Wow, that's really inexpensive." Hey, VC. Um, VC asks, "How do I move my money to Colombian back?" Well, VC, I think you're gonna have to ask the question again. I think you're asking how you move money from the US to Colombia. I actually have a video on that. But you're saying back, so I don't know if you mean from Colombia back somewhere like the US. So you'll have to ask it again. I'm sorry. Hardcore wants to know if hardcore camping gear. Oh, cool. Because everyone knows I used to be a van lifer. Hardcore asks, can I hire you to decorate a condo in El Retiro? No, you don't need me. I all I can say is the furniture they make in this region of Colombia is so gorgeous. all of this that you see, you pick your fabric. They'll even make something for you. If you see it in the Pottery Barn catalog or whatever, the woods here are amazing. You can even see, everything is mirrored. Eh, see where my thumb is? You can even see in this, even though it's far away, the grain of the wood and everything. Everything's like solid hardwoods. It's absolutely beautiful. My advice to anyone is, well, first and foremost, if you're on a budget, contemporary or modern, if you will, is the absolute least expensive way you can decorate. And that's because you don't need much. There's Petunia. Oops, there's Petunia. I'm backwards. There she is. um, because it's minimal. It's really simple. You just have a key focal point. Like I have a big paint. I'm going to stop pointing. I'm just going to stop because everything's all is mirrored. So yeah, like a focal point, like a painting, a big wraparound sofa. I mean, that's all I have in my living room is a wraparound sofa, one little leather accent chair, a glass table. I mean, just minimal, really super simple, easy. So you keep that, you kind of keep one key sort of color and expand on that. You don't need to be matchy matchy. I happen to love turquoises and teals and things like that. So as you can, oh, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop pointing. So, I'm sorry, I'm getting punchy. What time is it? It's only been an hour and I'm already punchy. Um, so anyway, so just a little bit of decorating advice. Having been in the fine art business, owning art galleries all my career or working for them, I understand this. So it is nice to have sort of a cohesive color and then expand beyond that. So what a lot of people would say in my gallery, and believe me, in Florida, everybody loves like pale turquoise colors. You know, that's the color of the water and whatnot. And they'd want everything, including all the colors in their art, including every pillow, everything to be that color. And my answer is you don't have to, but you just make sure that you, like in that throw, I'm not going to point in the throw that's by Petunia's head behind me. That happens to be in the teal range. But honestly, I could have had a pink throw there. It would have been fine. But the painting in the kitchen, unfortunately, that light, I didn't charge the battery. That's a real typical example of what I would encounter in the gallery. So you've got the aqua in the water. So the client would say, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That happens to be a painting from Spain. So you can't really see the rocks in the background, but there were this beautiful pinkish mauve colors and stuff. And they would say, I don't have any of that color in my apartment. I'm like, or some of it had like green all in their apartment or house. And then they'd say to me they didn't want a painting because it had blue sky in it. And then I would point to their windows and say, well, guess what? Out every single window, you have every color of the rainbow. So you're going to be fine. So anyway, one cohesive color, to get back to my interior design uh, uh, advice, that sort of, you splash here and there, keep your furniture neutral, color wise. And it's easy. It's not hard to have a modern look that's appealing. Okay, enough of my interior design advice. So where are we here? Mary's asking, also, she lives in Florida, but she was born in Colombia. She has questions about coming back to Colombia. Again, I will refer her to Juli Franco, whose link is below in the description, and she will help you, Mary. It's for her, she does this all the time, helping those Colombian citizens return to Colombia. She'll be able to advise you, and it will not be a difficult process. She takes care of everything, even from a distance. So not to worry. Oh, I thought I had my phone off. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, Nicolau says two-part question. What was buying a car like in Colombia versus the US? And does Huli help with that too? Um, uh, okay, we'll just start with that one question. Okay, um, I because of my experience in the fine art business and being on the receiving end, being either a director or later an owner of a gallery, I was used to every possible type of negotiating technique on the client end, and I was like the final decision maker as far as my business. So when it comes to purchasing cars, I help my friends. I've helped my family. I'm very, very good at negotiating and getting a good price. So no, I did not need Huli's help. I did have somebody with me that was only maybe 50% fluent in English. So, or excuse me, in Spanish. So I would say that your best bet would be to ask Cooley to help you if you're not good at that sort of thing. But I had no problem. There is some flexibility, just like it is in the U.S. You know, especially if you're at a dealership, even if you're buying a used car. There's certain things I can advise, like you go towards, the last couple of days of the month because they have quotas and things they need to meet. And bottom of the line is, I can tell everyone, here's the secret, is when you find the car that you want, you don't even have to buy it that day, but when you're ready and they aren't too, and your price isn't outrageously less, but you've just had a stalemate with them, whatever, you go back in. In the case with me, when I found my car, I didn't go back in. I just did it all in that one sitting. And you just let them know that you want to buy it today. That's the key. You say, I have the money, I have the cash, you have the sale. I want to drive it off the lot. So can you please get me someone else I can talk to? And you do it nicely, you always do it nicely. And you say, I'm sorry, that's all I have. I'm sorry, that's all I have. And I wasn't asking for a lot, but I had a certain budget in mind and I was being honest. That's all I had, and so that's the best thing I can say, because as the saying goes, money talks. A lot of people, they hem and they haw, and on the selling end, the person, again, me, say in the art business, on the selling end, I would say to that client, well, are you prepared? Let me get my pencil out again and back. Are you prepared to buy the painting today if if I can do that price for you? Anyway, so enough of my car shopping advice. I'm just checking to see who else is in the room here. Gordon Black is replying to something I haven't seen in the comments yet, but I'm loving what Gordon wrote. And so I'm going to guess at what the subject read. He put in all caps, all. All people are accepted. I've seen no backlash, many lovers on the beach in public. So my hunch is that someone was asking about, are gays accepted? And the answer is yes, absolutely. And I have gay friends and associates here in Colombia, and and I don't know if it's just a regional thing where, in Antioquia, which is known as the Paisa culture. I have not seen any prejudice against religion, if someone's wearing a hijab, against color of skin, nationality, or sexual orientation whatsoever. And I verified that with neighbors and also with Huli. And Huli happens to be gay. And she told me, not even growing up. I mean, everybody treated her just like everybody else. So it's a beautiful culture that way. So if anybody asked that earlier, I just wanted everyone to know my experience. Mary asks, are there benefits to retire in Colombian if you're a Colombian citizen? Well, things are just easier for you. First of all, you speak the language. Secondly, just culturally, just coming to a country that you're from is just so much easier. So yes, absolutely, you have an advantage. Um, and I tell everybody, if I can do it, okay. So talk about being at a disadvantage. All right. So I came here alone, so I'm solo, and I'm a senior, right? So that makes it harder. Again, no significant other, no one to bounce ideas off of, and not speaking the language like at all. So I had to learn all that from scratch too, and I'm nowhere near that. So, and I did it all. And yes, the real estate market, the rental market, as I've explained before, you have to make an on the ground effort. It's not just quick and easy. You can't be sitting back in your, home in Connecticut and find everything that you need on the internet as far as where you're going to be living. It's just not going to happen that way. You have to make a visit here. Then if you like it, you have to make a committed trip to come down and find where it is you're going to live, whether it's renting, buying. And then what most people do in that case is they come and they stay in an Airbnb for an extended amount of time, at least 30 days, and find where it is that they're going to look, or excuse me, to live. Patricia asks if the large painting is one of my own. All those years, over 40 years in the art business, and I happen to have an art history degree, this is the line I always said to people that would come in to one of my galleries and say, "Oh, are you an artist?" Or I usually had at least 50 artists at all times that I represented, all different genres. I mean, all over the place, all different mediums, sculpture, glass, oil paintings, watercolor, just so many different styles. Can you imagine someone saying, "Are you the artist?" That was just cute as can be. But my answer to all of those questions was, I don't paint them, I pick them. Jay Clements asks, how did I find a trusty contractor to remodel? What was the cost compared to the US? The cost was uh, 75% less, maybe even more than it costs in the US for contracting here. And you network just like you would anywhere. So I had been here and been renting, and I got to know some of the people, like actually after I closed, I got to know some neighbors, and I knew a bunch of people in my expat group. So I was referred to those who are the best. So, and another thing about this area is the craftsmen just take it really seriously, and they're very good at what they do. So, as far as construction, making furniture, as I mentioned before, all of that, most people are very good at it. But, again, you don't want to just blindly just ask someone. And you don't want to pay everything up front. You want to pay just a small portion up front, maybe for some basic materials, and then the balance at the end. You're right, Owen. Owen says he's a straight white male, but the intolerance is is just growing and growing in the United States. Yes, it's really sad and really scary for a lot of people, of other nationalities, other sexual orientations, than what I shouldn't even say is the norm. There is no norm. And the US is a melting pot. So, but there are distinct groups that think that their distinct group should be it in the United States, and everyone else is not welcome. Is just crazy. Oh, I like Liz's question, and I'm going to get to it in a second. Oh, Huli's here before I get to Liz. Oh, wow, Huli. Yay. I asked Huli to come and visit today. So, as the Mike Myers skit, remember in SNL where he played the woman on Long Island, and every now and then he would just have to have I think it's called like a Klimt moment or something. It was hysterical skits, but he'd just go discuss, discuss. So discuss with Huli. So you guys can go off on tangents and ask her some questions. And feel free to do that. And I'm going to go back and find Liz. Where are you? If I can find you. What was your question, Liz? I'm so bad at this. Okay, there's the question. Liz asks, is there a strong creative community where you are nearby? I didn't even realize it having been in the business that I was in for so long and I love it, it was not a requirement for me. I had no idea how cultural and how artsy this area is. And every pueblo kind of has its thing, like El Carmen, it's dancers and theaters. There's 3 theaters there. El Retiro has incredible music and art, 3 cultural centers in El Retiro where you can take language classes, not Spanish necessarily. Like they had a French cultural month at one where you could take cooking classes, where you could bring your child and they could do like this sort of a little class on just French culture for children. I mean, just every single day in every one of these pueblos are cultural things going on. I mean, if I had more time, I would be doing way more of them. There's even foreign language conversation classes, like in English, to help people that speak Spanish, vice versa. Tons of art galleries, just tons of musical events. And some of them are in churches and museums or the cultural centers or in the parque, which is what we call in Italy, the piazza, or say in England, the town square. And again, just outdoor concerts, things like that. So it's just an amazingly cultural area. And so hope that answers your question, Liz. Okay, Liz is asking specifically right after that, what is the best creative community? I would say the top 2 would be El Carmen and El Retiro. And both of them are really close to one another, again, in my Oriente de Antioquia region. So I would suggest either of those 2. But you don't have to live right there. Everything is so close. So if you found a great apartment or house to live in, and it happens to be in Gualandai or Jana Grande, or any of these other sort of sections or regions within the regions, you're still close enough to be able to go and do everything there. So you don't have to limit that specifically. Gosh, it looks like I'm going to need moderators. I'm getting some nasty stuff in here and I don't like it. So I'm not even going to point out what it is, but the people that are leaving nasty things, just go away, please. Life's short and I'm just going to make one comment here. There is far more beauty, goodness, love in this world than there is not. So if you want to focus on like this and have that be your world, then so be it. But that is not welcome on my channel, in any of the comments, and definitely not welcome here today. Nice to see you, Donna. Yes, I'm doing a live. Aw, Liz Angela says, we value your channel. Thank you for loving Colombia and for explaining everything so clearly and objectively. We wish you all the best and are sending many blessings your way. Oh, sending those back to you too. Many blessings to you, Luz Angela. Thank you for joining us today and your wonderful questions and comments too. There's Boink. Hi, Boink. I love your name, Boink 800. Yes, let's level up Colombia like Nana does. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sonia. I don't know how to do that yet. She's saying to block the nasty ones. I'm so tech challenged. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I'm so, oh, I think I click the dots near them. Let me see. Thank you for giving me the tech advice. I'm gonna try and figure this out. Oh, oh, I have a lot of options when I click on the dots. Okay. So the last person that said something that I found to be not nice and rude, they've gone bye-bye. Sabrina is asking, do you need a cosigner to rent? No, not necessarily. As I've explained before, the rental process here in Colombia is way different than it is in the US, as well as other countries. So it just takes an on the ground, just being here effort. And once you've visited here once or twice and decide this is where you want to be, the best advice we give is to come and move into an Airbnb, take your time with it, and find the very best place that you. So no, that's not necessary. And I urge those that are at that point to talk with Huli, and she can point you in the right direction as far as what you need to do once you do arrive, as far as finding a rental or a place to purchase. Thank you, Grumpy. Yeah, I figured it out. The three little dots. Yeah, I was able to do that. But there may have been more than one. It was the most recent comment that I was able to do that with that user. So they can't comment anymore. Okay, Mia has a question for Huli. I don't know if Huli's still here. Oh, she is. Thank you, Huli, for visiting. I'm sorry. And Huli, I have never had anybody nasty, anyone weird. I was told that in chats, it's good to have moderators that can do that for you. So, so the first time Huli joins in a chat, she sees these wacko people. I'm sorry, Huli. It's normally all really nice people in here, right, guys? We're a Nana YouTube fam that all love each other and are supportive. We get real. We tell it like it is, but we're never nasty. Yes, Grumpy. I have links underneath every single one of my videos. If you have any questions at all, so you can do a consult with me on Expat Life. You can do a consult with Huli on immigration, taxes, insurance, those types of questions. And they're video Zoom calls, so they're fantastic. You get to know us, and we go in depth. The other reason that I set it up that way, everyone, is because there isn't like a simple canned answer to most questions. It has to do with the individual. And so, in a discussion and finding out what those individual things are, then we can answer your questions really thoroughly and give you far more information, even on other topics and lifestyle things and whatnot. Once we start conversing with you, it's just super, super helpful to do that. And also, really helpful if you're planning to visit. And again, I'm not here to plug the things that I do. I created this channel and the services that I offer as everything that I wished I had had 2 years ago. Gosh, I wish I had had before I met Huli, I wish I'd had when I was back in the US trying to figure out Colombia, like what was going on. I wish I had a Huli to talk to back then, but I didn't know her. I wish I had an expat like myself to talk to that asked questions of. And I wished, most important of all, was I wished I had, when I got here on both of those trips, someone that could take me to what it was that I needed to see that matched my lifestyles, my hobbies, my interests, my budget, that knew this area of Oriente and also Medellin inside and out. Because you just try coming here on your own and renting a car. You will never figure this area out. I mean, you'd have to live here a long time. And I've been here close to 2 years, and Huli has her whole lifetime here. So the tours, she's your guide. So, I mean, she's going to be able to show you things. She shocks me all the time when I'm out with her. I'm like, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, I need to go there. This is amazing. So, yeah, we interview you ahead of time for your tour. It's private, it's customized for you, and you have all day with Huli, and she'll show you everything that you need to know in one day. We suggest you do it at the beginning of your trip, so that way you can go back to your favorite spots. So if you do want to look at real estate, or you want to go back and kind of hang out for the day and evening, maybe even people sometimes change their hotel because they found a favorite pueblo, and they spend the rest of their trip at that hotel and really digging in or diving into the life there. So it's something that was just important to me to be able, again, to offer everything that I wished that I had had. And getting back to my point, all of those links are in the description of every video. So you can either book a consult with me, with Huli, or you can get information about our private tours. So feel free to click the links. Okay, so I'm going to take a mini little break because I haven't even had a sip of my water. And I actually kind of prepared my break ahead of time. Remember before I always had something to drink, but where I didn't have any even food, because my lives usually go on for 3 or 4 hours. Is that crazy? But the reason, like right now, there's 130 people, excuse me, in this room, in this chat room, 130 people. So I kept looking, and there were new names, and I didn't want to leave because I felt bad that all these questions were coming. I just didn't want to say, I didn't want to be rude. So what's happened in each of the lives is Petunia gets to that 3-hour mark, or maybe a little beyond that, and she asked me to go out for a walk. So that's when I have to go. So right now she's sleeping, but I wanted you guys to see something. I've done shopping videos, a lot of them, and I have one that's strictly grocery shopping. And I show Carulla, Carulla, the super huge supermarket one that's in Llano Grande, which is nicer than any big supermarket I've ever seen in the US. It's incredible. The bakery section, deli section, I mean, the liquor section, I mean, just everything under the sun. It tends to be a bit higher than the smaller mom and pop grocery stores. So I don't always do all of my shopping there. I like to support the smaller businesses. There's one in particular I've done a video on, La Cantaleta, where I compare Carulla with La Cantaleta. And also I'm a bit frugal, so I don't want to do all my shopping all the time at this big Carulla in Llano Grande. So, but yesterday I took a day, just a fun day with friends, and we were out all day. It was late, and I literally had no food left in my house. I had to grocery shop, and I was really close to that, the big supermarket. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to make my life easy. I'm going to go in. It was like a lazy person shopping. So instead of going to the fruit market at La Cantaleta, I went into the fruit and vegetable department, and I was feeling so lazy. I didn't even want to buy a whole papaya, which is like, I mean, can't even tell you, it's like the size of a football. And there was probably like, I don't know, $1, something like that. I have no idea. I was just lazy. So what I bought, you know, like I have Publix supermarkets by me. I don't know what size this is. I think it's bigger than a pint. You guys can see it's big. It's filled with papaya, but I want you to see the price. Now, this is at what is considered a high-end supermarket. So That's four. That's not $4,000. That's 4,000 Colombian pesos. And it's all pre-cut. So, I mean, my supermarket back in Florida was Publix. To get this size of fruit, doesn't matter, melon, cantaloupe or something like that would be cut up like that. Somebody can tell me what that is in the US now. I'm sure it's like $4 or $5, but if you do the conversion on this right now, it's like 80 cents for all this, and it's all pre-cut. So pardon me, I'm going to have a little food break here and eat some papaya. So even when you're splurging in Colombia, it's next to nothing. So good. So everyone discuss for a minute. I'm taking a little break. You can tell I kind of prepared for this. So my other favorite store, well, I have a lot of favorite stores, is D1, which is kind of similar to an Aldi or a Trader Joe's. And of course, at these stores, like the snack aisle is just unbelievable. But also at D1, I love the dairy section. They have cheeses like from Spain and Portugal and Italy and all this stuff. And they're inexpensive, just amazing. I get these, which is, it's an individual bag, but I mean, honestly, I usually only eat half of it. So it's a big individual bag. Can everybody see that? And it's a mixture of all different kinds of potatoes and I think yucca. And I looked up the ingredients and again, I should have looked this up ahead of time, but it's a good oil and salt, and that's it. And then the different kinds of potatoes. I should probably turn the sound off when I eat them, but some of them are like red. So this is kind of a broken bag. And some are like yellow, all different color. They're all, and each, let me tell you, everything is so much more flavorful here than in the United States. I think everything is so genetically like dumbed down and greenhouse grown and everything. I mean, these are just amazing chips. No bad ingredients. But here's the thing. Each bite, and I'm not going to actually eat those in front of you because they're too loud. I mean, you guys will be going, oh my God. Who's that rude woman crunching into, I'm wearing a mic today, so hopefully this is working. So I'm not going to do that to you. But yeah, each individual chip, depending upon the color, has a totally different taste. So, and I noticed that as well, that how flavorful the fruits and vegetables are and how distinct. I know I always use this as an example, but they grow a lot of berries here, berries, including blueberries. And I had forgotten in the US what a blueberry tasted like, because basically you buy these really expensive pints of them. I don't even know what they cost there. And they just taste like sugar water. I mean, not even that much sugar, just kind of watery. But here, they taste like blueberries, the blueberries I remember as a kid. Okay, so a little more papaya. Somebody, I love that. I'm scrolling up to see where I left off. I'm just seeing Boink writes, we dream it while Nana really does it. It's almost like a slogan or a tagline. We dream it, Nana does it. I love it. But for those that you are dreaming, I mean, dreaming is great. And here's another thing, a word of advice. The people that I talk to, in the consults are oftentimes just like right on the cusp and so afraid, and they've decided that they're going to do it. They are going to move here or wherever it is, and but there's just this fear holding them back of the next steps, which are the downsizing, the getting your immigration stuff all straightened out, all those kinds of things. And my advice for everyone is enjoy the process, because that's like the most exciting time. Actually, further back in time, when I was just investigating and deciding, I was living vicariously through all these YouTube videos and even before van life, before that, I found it very invigorating and very exciting. So when you do get those waves of worry or fret, just try to just reel that in and focus on the excitement and the joy of the planning phase, because it really is a lot of fun. And the question mark of the future is an exciting thing. Change does not have to be something to dread. Change can definitely be something to look forward to. But you also have to be ready. I don't want anybody to feel pushed in any way. But I'm just saying, if you need that little extra nudge, just try to have fun with it and enjoy the process. Oh, thank you, Owen. I appreciate that. I have a business email, Owen, um, in my description. So if you can email me this week, yeah, I'd love some help. Owen's volunteering to be a moderator, and you've been wonderful in all my lives and all my comments only. So yes, absolutely. Let's see. Renee is saying that, well, she's telling people they need to buy their place pre-construction. You'll save 30%. Well, possibly. You wait 18 months for it to be completed. Well, no, a lot of these projects you wait years, depending upon what point in the process. But and that's the way that Renee did it, and now her place has doubled in price in 5 years. Yeah, but the other thing too, Renee, is you can get good deals that are resales too. Remember, those are private parties selling. So whenever I've bought real estate, I've always had getting a deal in mind. Always, always, always. And in the absolute worst markets, I find a deal. I don't get emotionally attached. I can let a place go if it's not going to fit my budget. And I keep looking. So when you're looking for a resale property, you don't know who's selling it and you don't know what the reason is. They could absolutely need the money now. And they are in a rush and they will take less. You don't know the circumstances of that owner. So yes, absolutely. Hopefully, if you're in a situation over the years where there's going to be appreciation, which so far there has been here, that I'm not saying you don't, Renee, get good deals on pre-construction. You do, but you do have to, you have to wait. You have to wait a good long time, in those cases before you can move in. But I'm glad that worked out for you, and that's fantastic. 5 years later, that your place is worth double. I mean, that's quite amazing. I'm skipping the people talking to Huli. I don't even know if Huli's still here, but that's why it's taking me so long. I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm trying to skip the questions that are geared towards Huli. Edward is saying in Cali, it's impossible to rent without a cosigner. Well, that's not the case here. It's just knowing how to do it. And we can help you, give you advice on that. And Huli's the one. But again, we don't embark on that until somebody has actually come here and has decided that they want to move here. Because we're not going to, and Huli's explained this to me. This is how it works in Colombia, that she's not going to recommend real estate agents and stuff that are people that are, in the dream phase, back in the US, and all of that really don't need a rental yet. But no, it's possible to work around all this. You just can't really do it until you're here. And again, what I'm going to say that most people do, and actually I was with some of my expat friends yesterday, and I asked them how they did their rentals, and it's just what I thought, that they first came when they decided, they visited maybe once or twice when they decided they were moving here, they came and got a long-term, well, not Airbnbs aren't always long term, but usually you save about half. If you get an Airbnb, not for a week or 2 weeks, but you get it for 30 days or longer, those owners or managers do a big discount for that. So you just plan on being in an Airbnb until you find your perfect place. That's the best way to do it. CL Dubberly is asking how I found my condo. Did I get in touch with realtors, and how did you find your place in terms in general? And did you use websites? Well, know that most real estate agents don't use websites in Colombia. I'm going to be doing a video on purchasing real estate in the near future. Um, Colombia does not have an MLS system. They're as progressive as so many things are here. I mean, just unbelievable. The infrastructure, everything that I see, the real estate, and also bureaucratically regulated for people's protection, by the way, a lot of things here. That's not the case with real estate. So anyone can say they're a real estate agent. There's not a licensing board. So oftentimes that could be just a friend of an owner, and they just have another friend that says we'll try and sell it for them. Those international sites that you're seeing on from other countries, a lot of those listings are old, and those listings are expensive. So most real estate agents do not put the properties they have that are available on those sites. So that's not the way to look. But if you do end up coming down here, if you do a tour with us, Huli can point you in the right direction according to your budget, what it is that you're looking for, in the hands of the right real estate agents for just that. Because otherwise it's just a hodgepodge. You might find someone, but they only have two listings, neither of which are in your budget or you even like. So we have to find out first where it is you want to be, what kind of budget, is it a house, is it an apartment, what are your needs, what are your lifestyle, are you going to have a car so you can drive down a mountain road like me, or do you absolutely have to be close to a pueblo? All those kinds of things we have to know first before we point you in the right direction. Oh, Huli, thank you so much. You're answering so many of these questions. Taking the load off me, Huli. Because I mean, when I've done my other lives before, I mean, sometimes people get so specific with questions I can't answer. So thank you so much. I did do good networking, CL, to find my apartment, and I had people helping me as well that were Colombian and knew where to go, where to ask, and that sort of thing. So, and that's what we help you with as well. So again, those that have come down here and have connected with us in one respect or another, then we help with all that. Aw, Conde Siamese. Hi, Nana. I'm from Medellin originally, living in California, though, for 25 years, planning to come back next year. That's so exciting. Oh, and there so many people are coming back. And I mean, Colombia has just really changed. I mean, obviously, we know there's some yucky history there, but the last 25 years, it has blossomed. I mean, just so beautifully. And it's such a wonderful place to be again. And many, many Colombians in the US watch my channel and are coming back. And particularly those that have spent their careers working in the US, and then they can do just basically what I did. Take your US dollars and then have your money be worth 4 times that here in Colombia. And then other things like certain services and stuff I've mentioned, your money is worth far more than that because the service industry is so inexpensive. Like if you need a plumber or a locksmith or something like that, it's quite frankly pennies on the US dollar. So it has a lot of appeal, but it's also not just financial, guys. I mean, I have a video that actually a lot of Colombian people commented on and was so heartwarming for me. I now have 30% Colombians here in Colombia that follow my channel. But it's called 11 Habits of Colombian People that I noticed personally. And yeah, watch that video because those are the things that I celebrate about being here. It's not just the good deals. Yes, we all love a good deal. We all love that financial freedom. We love the fact, I mean, I told my kids that I was moving to Colombia because I refused to work anymore. That was my primary reason. So yes, it was financial, but so many other things that I found in Colombia, not just when I visited, but definitely after moving here. Um, what has happened in the US actually, and I explain this to my Colombian friends, it's not that the US didn't have these wonderful habits. Like there are things that I noticed, like good manners, the warmth, the sense of community where you live, all these kinds of things. I explained to them that it's not something that the US, it's just not a US thing. US people don't like that. So it's not their thing. No, it's something that was super, super part of our culture, but it's lost. It's lost. And I'm old enough now, I'll be 68 this year, uh, to know what it used to be like. And that's what's all this warm and fuzzy that I just exude, that I'm just so happy here. I feel like I'm back in time from when I was a child. And all the things I loved about living in the US, I feel they still have here. So yeah, it's just, I'm not trying to pump my videos, but it's one of my personal favorites because I didn't want to just say, like, I don't know, the sort of the obvious things like, oh yes, the Colombian people are super warm. I really thought about it. It was almost like it was going back to being in college when you had to like really think out a thesis type of thing, and really kind of just dive deep into not research, but actually the thought process. Well, I was a humanities, like an art history major. So I love thinking that way. And I really had to just sort of stop and think. And I, in my head, go through everyday life and certain encounters. And I go, oh my gosh, yes. And I saw these threads of things that were so typical here. And that I was realizing, gosh, I used to have that in my life. And now I have it again. So it's just a wonderful place to be. I'm Colombia's biggest fan. What can I say? Avery is saying too hot on the coast. I need to be in the mountains. And that's something that I do try to point out often to everyone, that when you are in a part of the world that is, let's say, that closer to the equator. So if you're, say, in Florida, that's getting down south in the US, so you're getting closer to the equator, or even closer, like Colombia. What happens is, unless you increase elevation, it's going to be hot and humid as blazes. And that's true topographically, really anywhere in the world. And if you go, for that matter, to a place that's typically cold at sea level, and then it also has mountains, it probably has like glaciers and stuff up high. It's so cold. So elevation plays a huge part in climate. And I get so many questions about where else can I go in Colombia that's going to have great weather? Well, when you open up Google Maps, you just change the view to the topography view, and you'll see where the mountains are. And Colombia has the Andes that run up through it. But you can pick a city or a town and just Google the elevation and see. So if you are at least, like this region I'm in, like Medellin is 6,000 foot elevation. You also have El Retiro is 7,000 feet. I'm up my mountain road, so I'm at 8. So you go down a few degrees with every 1,000 feet you go up. So I would say in Colombia that you'd want to be at least 6,000 feet if you want that, comfortable climate year round. Aw, CL Deberly is saying that he did a chat with Huli recently and how helpful she was. And he can't wait to come back down. He'll be down in March. That's wonderful, and we can't wait to welcome you back, CL. That's fantastic. Yeah, Huli's amazing. I mean, I just hate to just keep saying it, but I ask her about before I make any move for anything, and it's not just bureaucratic stuff. I ask her because she knows everyone, everything, and I just never make stupid mistakes. Someone is asking, does Huli have a website? No. And also, the other thing I want to explain, I have a channel with over 11,000 subscribers. It's the World Wide Web. So I have to be, and Huli has to be as selective as we possibly can with our time because we're doing so much. I mean, I'm producing videos, I'm editing, I'm doing consults for people, all of that sort of thing. So we we have to be careful what we put out there as far as people just flooding us with emails. And I do, even though it says business inquiries only on my website, it's for tour information or real estate information. There's a contact form, but people write on there anyway with all these questions about, what's this? How do I know this about Colombia and that? I have this kind of this, and I'm thinking about this kind of visa. What can you do? What about how much is my rent going to be, or should I buy a home? I get paragraphs in emails, and and I'm not trying to complain. I respond to everybody that does. But those responses are, I wish I could answer all that. I can't. And you know what? Even in the early stages of my channel, I can't answer super detailed questions like that without asking a lot of other questions first about the person, their likes, their dislikes, where they are, what their budget is, all these different things. What kind of citizenship they have, where they live. I mean, I could go back and forth a million times in emails before I can even answer a question. So, again, the consults, we get down to brass tacks, like really, really fast, and customize our information for you. So it's super, super helpful. Oh, Piano Vision. Oh, I love your name, Piano Vision. Says that he's talking about the 11 Habits of Colombian People video. Says that was the best in all caps video. I commented on that one. Everyone watch it. Yeah, and I'm not trying to push my other videos. That was my favorite one. I was just really heartfelt, and I that actually opened up my channel to people in Colombia. Loved watching it because they were saying it just brought them back to realize how proud they should be of where they live. When you're living it, you kind of forget about how great it is. So yeah, that video was very dear to my heart making it, and I really enjoyed making it. And talking into the camera and just sort of giving my heartfelt impression of what I felt the Colombian people to be all about. Gordon says, my family and wife thought I was crazy. My wife refuses to leave here now. It's the best place to be. Yeah, that's so true. I know. My family was hesitant too, and I talk about that in other videos, but now they're super happy for me being here, and yeah. Oh, Gordon's in the northern Caribbean coast of Colombia, which I need to. Right now, people have asked why I don't I haven't checked out other parts of Colombia, and it's not because I don't like to travel and I don't want to. It's because of Petunia. She's 16 now. She has a heart condition, and I can't really leave her with someone else, even though I have great neighbors. Um, and she's very, very attached to me, and she gets really nervous and really upset if I'm not in the same room with her, where she can't hear anymore, and she has to be able to see me too. So, and flying with her would not be a good idea with her heart condition and everything. So, that's something I will do someday. But for right now, Petunia is really one of my, other than my family, my top priority. Well, I shouldn't say other. That's so mean. I'm sorry, Petunia. She is my family. So Petunia, like my family, is my top priority. Oh, Gordon asks, is it humid here? No. We do get rainfall, more rainfall in some months of the year, not many. It's not a monsoon season. We don't have that sort of thing here in this region of Colombia. We're in the northern Andes. It's known as the region of the eternal spring. So we do get rain. It's usually not, like torrential all day, every day, and all night. Even during the rainy season, couple of months, there's still breaks in it. I mean, it's not. I always give this as an example. Petunia will not pee outside in the rain. She will not. She is so prissy. She won't. So I've never ever had a situation where I couldn't, within an hour or two of when she normally goes out, get her out when it wasn't raining. So it's just not torrential here. It's a very lush area, but there's enough sun, and we don't have the humidity because we're high up in altitude. So it's really just a very, very ideal climate. Typical highs are, depending on your elevation, remember I said they vary, but where I am in this region, typical highs are low 70s. Typical lows are mid 50s. So great sleeping weather, beautiful, temperature during the day. If it's a cloudy day, it may be upper 60 high, upper 60s high, like 68, 69, something like that. Hi 4F, welcome. How close is the nearest shopping center from your location? I actually have a lot of shopping videos, but I know it's hard to kind of tell proximity. But keep in mind, this is kind of a countryside area, but then there are concentrations areas that are more developed where you'll find like major malls, like in Rio Negro in the Llano Grande section, even. And that spans the entire municipality of Rio Negro, not just the dot on the map, which is downtown. So that whole municipality has the airport, has two gorgeous malls, supermarkets. There's Jumbo, which is kind of like a small Costco. There's Home Center, which is just like a Home Depot, huge. Men always love the Jolie. Sometimes on the tour takes couples there because the men always are blown away when they see Home Center. So yeah, all that stuff is there. So that's about 25 minutes from where I am. Um, but I have a big supermarket that's 20 minutes, but I prefer not to shop there. I showed just a few minutes ago what I bought at the big Caruja. I go into that part of town maybe twice a week, but I love my local grocer, who is La Cantaleta. They have a restaurant, they have a bakery, a butcher, just incredible stuff, a grocery market, and it's sort of like a big long strip mall, and two of the sections are produce, which are so inexpensive. I mean, I fill a huge shopping bag for like $10 of my produce for the week. So I love it there. And I just like supporting a small business. But as far as like more typical shopping, like major shopping like you have in the US, yes. It's just in certain areas, and the whole region, it's not that far to go if you want that type of shopping too. And K Milo is saying El Pablo is about El Pablo. I'm kidding. I'm getting a little punchy. El Poblado, that's a really nice neighborhood of Medellin, is 35 minutes from El Retiro. You're absolutely right, as that's where I live, and it's a hop, skip, and a jump. In fact, on Wednesday, I go to two shopping malls, one in Medellin and one halfway in between in the mountains of Envigado on my way home. So you guys can check that out. But yeah, I'm close to so many things, so many great things. Oh, Owen is asking. I'm just laughing at this question. So I'm so bad with numbers. I'm not the one to ask this, Owen. Owen says, how long did it take you to get used to the metric system in Colombia? Oh my gosh. I am not good with numbers. I'm barely can figure out whatever it's called in the US. Uh, so like kilometers, I'm pretty used to because I have a car. So that I'm used to. But I'm still kind of thinking in things like feet. Well, in the art business, we do everything in inches, like paintings are 24-inch, 48, 60. So it's really clear in my mind. So if I started doing metrics in my head, if I was measuring a table and things like that, I have so many years of using inches, that would be really hard for me. As far as converting money, I know that's not metric, but money is super easy because the dollar is almost always worth 4 times more. Like right now, it's worth a little more. So it's just easy in my head. I see a number. I can't even do the decimal points. I'm so bad in my head. I just see a number, and let's say it's 100,000, I think, peso. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at this. 100,000 COP, that stands for Colombian peso, COP. If I'm in a store and I see the 100,000, I get rid of all the zeros because I can't handle it, but I can handle 100 divided by 4 in my head. And so I know that's something that costs $25. So it's rare I spend $25 on one single item anyway. So let's take a zero off. Let's say it's something is 10,000 COP, and that's a bill. I have a video on the money, and that's a bill. I just take that. I always take the first cluster of the number, like before the 000. So I take the 10 and I divide that by 4, and then I know it's $2.50, kind of. And it's usually, in my experience, since I've lived here for close to 2 years, it's usually at 4 or a little higher. I know occasionally it might drop down to like 3.8 or 3.9. I don't think I've experienced that, or if it happened, it was just a little bleep. But I know I'm safe doing 4, and I'm usually more than safe doing 4. Anyway, in fact, we can do that on my papaya real quick. COP $2. Let's see where this is at today. Oh, so we took a little bit of a dip, a little bit, but we're still okay. Sorry, guys. I'm so bad technologically. So remember I showed you, like, I splurged. I went to Caruja, and I actually, it's the first time ever, I did not buy a whole papaya or a whole mango or something. I just was being lazy. And this is big. I don't even know what size this is in the US anymore. But like, when you go to the supermarket and you find cantaloupe and stuff, it's not like the half one. I think it's a full pint, or bigger. It's heavy. It's a lot in here. A papaya, all pre-cut, all ready to go. And that's 4,000. So in my head, if I divide that by 4, I know that this costs me around $1. And sure enough, yesterday I did the conversion and it came to, like, I don't know, 89 cents or something. Today, I just did it on my computer, and it said that is 99 cents. So, but again, I mean, this is several dollars in the US. Excuse me while I take another bite, because I've been talking for 2 hours. So everyone, you can discuss, as we say, discuss. Okay, sorry, I lost myself on the screen. I'm so bad at this. So yeah, just have your little chat discussion here while I fuel myself for a second. I still have there are over 100 people in here. This is why I never leave, because I feel bad if there are 100 people that want to listen to me. And I apologize if you just joined, but I had to nourish myself for a second here. 2 hours into it. Okay. Boyd is asking if I can summarize recent visa issues or complications. I had absolutely none because I used my concierge, Juli Franco, whose link is in the description below every one of my videos. People have problems all the time. That's why I say you have to hire an expert. Not all attorneys are good. Not all visa uh, service companies are good. A lot of them, especially these big websites that you see, they got a gazillion employees. They can leave your stuff sort of in the lurch. Huli's service is she does it personally, and she takes it all the way through getting your cedula, which is a multi-step process. That's your government ID, and really important. You can't get utility bills in your name. You can't get a bank account in Colombia until you have your cedula. It's not just the visa. So she takes it all the way through that and handles everything personally for you. So she's either about the same price or a little less than those services and lawyers and whatnot that are out there. And she does the cedula too. So, and it's really, if she were twice as much money, which she's not, I would still use her, because I mean, I cannot tell you. There have been recent changes too. In my type of visa, used to not, when I first got it, did not require an FBI background check. It was a brand new thing. She knew about it. And then she also took me to this was when I renewed it last month. She took me to a special place to have my photograph taken with a special type of digital way. When I first got my visa, I did the photo myself against a blank wall and sent that to her. But no, this has to be a certain way. She knew all of that. And I got the whole thing done within, it was less than a month. I got my FBI background check. I said this earlier in the video, but I got that back in 9 days. And she sent it, officially, all my fingerprints, all the yada yada. She knows where to send it, how to do it, and she got it back. I have my digital copy, which I'd never been FBI background checked, but I thought if anybody ever needs to know I'm not a criminal, has the official US seal on it, everything. I have the digital file of it. No, 9 days she got it in. So that really expedited my visa process. So what you guys need to know is, just because you get your visa after your tourist visa, your migrant visa, whatever type it is, retirement, investor, or otherwise, it's only going to be good for a certain amount of time. So, and they will tell you for how long they give it to you. And you have to have that type of visa. You have to go through that process, depending upon how long each leg of it is, for 5 years before you're a legal resident. So, yeah, so it's a process. So it was time for me to renew my first one. And she knew exactly what to do and got it done like record time, unbelievable record time. Oh boy, that's what I thought. Yeah, when you get fresh cut up fruit like this, the big container is right now in the US, he's saying between $5 and $10 a container. Yeah, if you got this, a papaya, at Whole Foods, I would imagine it'd be like $10 for sure. It's just like crazy. Oh, you're so welcome, Mia. And Julie and I look forward to hearing from you. That's so sweet of you to thank us. Oh, I'm loving this. A lot of LGBTQ people commenting today. TJ is saying that she and her wife are considering relocating to Medellin, which is right by me. And she wants to know how friendly the community is to LGBTQ people. And you can ask Cooley at that because she's one of them. One of you guys. And no, and I can say firsthand, knowing her, and I do have a couple of other gay friends here, and I've asked them the same thing, and I've noticed that actually. So, but anyway, when I've asked them, they say, "Oh no, it's like this area, this particular region of Colombia in particular. I mean, it's Colombia in general, yes, but this region is so accepting." And I am not talking just gender association or sexual orientation, any of those things. Very, very open and loving and welcoming, but also people of different, skin color, race, religion, any of those things, just super wide open, super. I mean, nobody even blinks an eye. I've never seen anyone stare at anyone because they're different. It's just not part of the culture here. So, and I know it sounds like too good to be true, but honest to goodness, that's what it's like. And it's shocking because Colombia is, a very Catholic country. And you would think that, I know in some forms of Christianity, that in some churches, some they're not the most welcoming, I should say. So anyway, I just want to assure everyone of that. It's just super cool here for all that. Dana, I don't. There's no question mark here, so I don't know if you're saying something or asking it. Oh, it is a question. I'm sorry. I'm getting fried here a little bit. Okay, can you stay in the country longer than 6 months while waiting for your residency? Well, that's not really quite making sense. The 6 months is how long you can extend your tourist visa. So you can stay here initially 90 days, but you can extend it to 6 months. And that means coming and going too, guys. You don't have to do it all in one stretch. But you can't visit Colombia in a given year for longer than 6 months. And that's true of really any country. But it's quite extended in Colombia, and that's a long time. There are people that own a home in the US and a home in Colombia, and they split it half and half. So that's done. But you're asking, can you keep doing that while waiting for your residency? Well, you're not going to, that means you're not applying for residency. In other words, if all you're doing is the tourist thing, that does not go towards residency. You have to actually get an M type visa, meaning a migrant visa, whether it's retirement or association by marriage or investment in a business or a piece of real estate, like a home or apartment or something, that then starts counting towards your 5 years of residency. So no, just coming back and forth on a tourist basis does not start that process of working towards residency. You'd have to get one of those visas and keep, renewing it until you got to that 5 year point to have your residency. So Joy is asking if you can see stars at night. Absolutely, you can see stars. We're up in the mountains. Absolutely beautiful. It just depends upon where you are. I mean, if you're in a community like mine, on one side that I look out, I see tons of stars. When I look out the other side of my building, which is not the view that you guys see, we have the street lights on the road that goes through my development. And by the way, oh my gosh, I keep talking about how progressive things are. Super environmentally conscious, this part of Colombia. I mean, I just can't get over it. And we have all solar powered street lights all throughout my community. That's very typical here. I know I've mentioned this in other videos. When you see public trash areas like a park or whatnot, there, even when I go to the supermarket, when you first walk in the supermarket, there's three types of trash. You have your black bin, your green bin, and your white bin. So you have like recyclables, compostable, like foods, and then just regular trash kind of things. So no, the area is very environmentally conscious. So yes, to answer your question, where I am, the air is good, the air quality, and you definitely can see the moon and the stars. Well, Gordon is saying the pensioner visa, so that means retirement visa, is barred from EPS and must purchase health insurance. For those people that are concerned about insurance and EPS, please do a consult with Huli because that blanket statement actually is not 100% correct. So each individual situation is different. And Huli is great at helping people get to the right insurance for their needs, including EPS. So I would suggest consulting with her if you have any questions, what you're eligible for here in Colombia. Oh, hi, Rose. Rose is asking, are there alternative health like acupuncture and chiropractor there? Yes, absolutely. And even beyond that, holistic natural modalities, just tons and tons of that. That kind of is going hand in hand with what I'm talking about, environmentally conscious, just a whole sort of universal appreciation of the world and all modalities. Even earlier when I was talking about sexual orientation, yes, it's an extremely cultural area and very, very open to concepts from all over the world here. So to answer your question, absolutely tons of places for chiropractic and acupuncture and so much more. Yeah, Milo is telling TJ, we Colombians are open-minded. Yes, you are. We have great variety of race and colors, and we don't worry about people's sexual orientation or judge them. We're all equal. And thank you for saying that, TJ. And TJ is Colombian. I mean, it's easy for me to I sound like I sound like a commercial. Sometimes I just wondering, oh my God, I just don't even sound real. But no, so take it from TJ. It's very, very true here how accepting the people are. Oh, Joy. Joyce has a great question. It's something I just found out from Huli. And I had the feeling that this was the case, but we had a conversation and she explained this to me. Joy says, are there any Jews or synagogues in this area? And my answer is yes. And when I found out from Huli, she actually did her DNA recently, and she found out that she's 30% Jewish. And there is a very large Jewish, or through history, even pre-World War II, of course, many Jews fled Europe after World War II to immigrate all over the world, and predominantly, well, in your other places in Europe, Israel, the US, and definitely South America. But the influx in this particular region of El Oriente, including Medellin, and where I am, Juli was explaining to me that Jews were coming here like in the 1800s. There was a big migration, and I don't know why. It's something I want to look up historically because I love history. I love looking things up. But generally speaking, so let's say in the US, when you had an influx of Italians or an influx, Italy, that's where my people came from. It was during persecution when the government moved to Rome, and the people in the government decided that the people in the southern half of Italy and Sicily also were less human, one of those horrible things. And so they were taxed more, and then that was coupled with horrific years of drought in the late 1800s. So a huge influx into the United States of Italians. And of course, we all know, well, many people know about the potato famine in Ireland, and that brought huge migration out. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was also people coming to South America too, in both those cases. So that has been the case with Jewish people. And yes, there are synagogues to answer your question. And yes, there are Jewish people here, absolutely. And people that know they're Jewish. Huli didn't even know she was Jewish and found out that she was 30%. This is so cool. Oh, and Huli's still here, or at least she was. I don't even know where I am in the scrolling. I just Huli is saying 70% of her clients rent. They don't own houses here. So I know some people are worried. It's just a different type of way of doing real estate here. And there are certain things you have to do in certain ways to be able to rent here. And you're not going to find it online from another country. It's like, oh, let's pick here. We're going to rent there and get it all figured out before you come. Nope, you just have to do some work on the ground when you're here. Oh, Grumpy, you're so sweet. You're asking Huli, she's probably not going to know either. Grumpy says, can you explain how to donate money here to Nana? Oh, you're so sweet. You don't have to. She's saying the dollar sign on her phone is only allowing $1.99. Yeah, I don't understand all these things about YouTube. When you go live, and my channel is what's considered monetized, it means I have the minimum amount that happened a long time ago with subscribers, and like they have these things, and then it allows you like to kind of tip people or something. I have no idea how you do that. And I don't know, hopefully, I think usually if somebody does that, oh, I'm scrolling up. See, this is what I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad. Kevin, thank you so much. I hope you're still here. He gave me $20. You asked. Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. So, so sweet. Thank you so much, Kevin. That is just lovely. I'm going to scroll up and see if I have anybody else to thank. I'm so bad at this again, guys. I apologize. Oh, that is so sweet. Because I mean, I must say, I've been following YouTube and van lifers for years before I did van life, while doing van life, and I loved that lifestyle. It was the most magnificent trip of my life to be with little Petunia, and I saw so many national parks, so many beautiful parts of the states, and just I did really, really enjoy it. But anyway, so I still watch some of my favorite YouTubers that do van life too. So, but it is nice to help them out, and I know people in van life that have full-time YouTube channels. It's a lot of work. I don't even know. I didn't do a YouTube channel when I did van life because the time it takes to film and then edit is several days during a week. I do 2 videos a week. So, I mean, it's taking me like 4 of those days are filming and editing, sometimes into 5. And so, yeah, and I do the consults and stuff too. So, but no, I really appreciate that. That's just so sweet for those of you that do, but don't feel like you have to. Absolutely don't. And we're here to help you, if you need advice ahead of time. That of course helps us. It helps support the channel, when you do consults with Huli or me. And as I've always said, I mean, I really encourage you guys to do the tours because it's very hard to figure out an area. Even we've had people that have come actually that have relatives or friends in Medellin and have gone with one of their friends to check out the area, and then immediately contacted us saying, we don't know where to go. Do you have a day free in the next, 10 days or whatever to do a tour for us? Because we can't figure, we don't, it looks beautiful, but what about this? What about that? We were thinking about this kind of life and that. And then, yes, so it really, really helps. And Huli does the tours. She's far better than me because there's no way on earth that I could follow my GPS and everything and talk to you guys in the back seat and do all of that. Plus, she's lived here all of her life. She knows everyone, everywhere, every possible type of lifestyle, this and that. We interview you ahead of your tour, which is all private and customized. So we know all about you, what you like, what your lifestyle hobbies are, what your budget is, like, for your lifestyle here and all of that. And then when she's on the tour with you and you start giving her feedback and you're in conversation, she'll be like, oh, there's something I need to show you. And she'll like turn and take you there, which is just amazing. Oh, Sixta. Hi, welcome today. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Oh, thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. And now I'm trying to get back to the comments. Thank you guys for dealing with my tech, like not getting it stuff. I'm so bad at this. Gordon is, oh, Avery is asking Gordon if he knows the name of a good dentist. I know Huli helps all her clients with all of that. And she has really good recommendations. So I've been fine. I just go to a periodontist that cleans my teeth here locally, and she's been great. And I haven't had any need for anything beyond that. So, but if I did, I would ask Huli where to go. Okay. Dana is asking, are there any Spanish language programs or schools in your area? I speak some Spanish, but would visit while taking a Spanish language program. I don't know if Huli's still here. As far as programs and schools and things, I've just always used an online tutor, and I just have a private call with him. It's just so much easier. He lives in Medellin, so he speaks the local language because the pronunciation, most Spanish that's taught, like when you use Diablo, is it Diablo? Yeah, Diablo, or I can't remember the other one, Babel. Those are Spanish, totally different than Mexican Spanish, South America, different countries in South America. It's all different. In fact, I know from when I use Google Translate, like sometimes I'll see like something I know it's not normally what they say here because it gets it wrong. It's regular Spanish from Spain. So I just recommend that, yeah, go ahead and use those apps. They are a bit helpful, but a private tutor is so inexpensive. You're not dealing in a whole class. You don't have to go anywhere. And you can set it up for, like an hour, 2 days a week, whatever you want. And you're going to have that one-on-one. So it's a great way to do it. Oh, Gordon is saying that he stayed for 90 days when he first came on a tourist visa, and then he decided to stay, extended his visa, his tourist visa for another 90 days, and just by the skin of his teeth, so to speak, got his visa in time. We always advise that if you are knowing that you're coming down to move here and you start, so you've already visited and whatnot, and then you're out of that section of time and you're coming down and you're moving here, that as soon as you get here, that you start that visa process, because usually, and gosh, all the time, these visa services and law firms will say, oh, we'll have it for you in a month. Well, that's not the case. And they take 10 times longer, I know, than Huli does too. So it's many months, some of them. It's terrible. So no, you do not want to leave it for the last minute. And yes, Huli can help you get it as quick as possible. But I'm a big believer in doing everything in advance. Why sweat out anything, when it's all avoidable? Just do things in the right time frame, and that's something that she can help you with too. I mean, I actually have things, because there's different bureaucratic things I need to do here, like my property tax, this and that. She tells me in advance when things are coming up, so I mark my calendar. But leave it to Huli. She's telling me like even a week before it's in my calendar. Like here it is, like a year later from whatever. Don't forget, we're going to be doing this and this on such and such day. So she has all of that all organized, which is great. Yeah, Gordon, yeah, you had it down to splitting hairs as far as time to get that visa. Yeah, so and it worked, but I'm just telling everybody to start the process early. And something else that Huli told me, don't try doing it through a consulate in the US. Some people think, and there are some countries where that works just as well, or if not better. But in the case of Colombia, you do not want to go to a consulate in the United States. It actually makes the process slower. You're much better doing it as soon as you get here, is start that process. Don't do it through a consulate first outside of the country. Oh, hi, almost retired. Welcome. And you're asking, after living in Florida for so many years, did you have any difficulty getting used to the high altitude? Well, I thought I would because not that it's related, but I tend to be a little on the sensitive side. I can't clear my ears that well on a plane. I get car sick easily if I'm in a back seat. Like I thought for sure, but I figured out I don't get altitude sickness when I did van life. I was at really high elevations, like in Glacier National Park, places like that. And I didn't have a headache. I didn't feel nauseous or anything. But so I'm probably not a good barometer as far as that. But I do know that altitude sickness is short-lived. So if you do have a headache or you're nauseous or something like that, that it's going to go away within a few days. So the only thing that I noticed was when I first came here, because my community is on the mountaintop. So when I walk Petunia, we're either going uphill or downhill, as we meander through our community. And so I was getting winded, just like you'll see that in anyone that's in a high altitude when they first get there. So I was like kind of like after you've walked a mile, you might start going, I didn't feel like I was, going to pass out or anything. I just was breathing more heavily. But within maybe 2, 3 days, that went away. So I felt fine. I always tell people, and this is a bit of a disclaimer, like if you have, like I know some type of heart ailments, not all, but some, that's not good. The type of oxygen levels that are here versus others might not be good for a certain type of heart condition, and maybe possibly other diseases. So you should always check with your doctor first before traveling to a high altitude place. But for me personally, it has not been an issue. Joy is asking, are there places to adopt cats or find strays? In my area, there are adoption organizations, just like there are in the U.S. I even have a neighbor that fosters from time to time. I mean, she's happened to have dogs, but I know for both, yes. This part of Colombia, and again, because with Petunia being having a heart condition and being 16 now, I haven't been able to travel around the country and really explore. But so I'm talking about my region of Antioquia. Very pet oriented. There is a pet store in almost every shopping plaza. So beautiful. I mean, for cats, dogs, and horses. Those are the three things they love here: cats, dogs, and horses. You wouldn't believe the paraphernalia. These gorgeous pet beds and collars and toys and like just like unbelievable. So yes, everybody has dogs and cats. And if you're fortunate enough to own or live in a finca, you have beautiful horses too. So very, very popular thing here. And yes, there are adoption nonprofits around for dogs and cats for sure. Boink is saying that they start feeling altitude at 3,000 meters. Oh, and Owen was asking if when it comes to feet, I'm still doing feet. I'm sorry, guys. So 3,000 meters is high. I have no idea. I have to look it up. Hold on, discuss. Everybody discuss in the chat while I figure out 3,000 meters. Okay, hold on. Wow. 3,000 meters is 9,800 feet. So that's when you start feeling the altitude point. I think I might too. Yeah, that's really high. That's way, way higher. Here is between 6 and 7,000 in this whole region. I happen to be up at 8 because I go up this really steep mountain road to get to my apartment. But yeah, so you're saying it has to be really, really high before you feel it. But, everybody's different. But the one thing I do know, unless you have like a serious disease or a specific type of heart condition, that you're going to be over any symptoms, excuse me, any symptoms at all within just, the first 2, 3 days, you should be fine. In fact, I know over the years when the Olympics, and oftentimes it's a Winter Olympics, but even in sometimes the Summer Olympics, they've been in countries and locations that have been like crazy altitudes, much higher than even here. And they fly those athletes in usually a week or 2 weeks ahead, and they start doing their training in that different oxygen level, and also to get over feeling sick or anything like that, so that they're completely adjusted and then they're able to perform. If it were an issue, they would never have an Olympics at crazy feet if like all of a sudden all these altitudes or athletes from sea level countries were like completely incapable for their entire stay there of performing their best. I know that's not the case. So yeah, it just, for most people, it just takes a little time to adjust. Luis is asking me for month-long rental places that I can suggest. Um, I usually don't like to recommend Airbnbs. They can change. It could be, yeah, I usually don't. Um, so little by little, the more people are coming down. If I'm super comfortable about one and I know, somebody that's been working with me and staying in one, then I'm going to start recommending. But at this point, I'm not really recommending Airbnbs. You can see them. They all have their own ratings. Again, I don't like recommending unless I've stayed there personally or I have talked to somebody that has stayed there a week, a month, whatever. And even in that case, I'm not 100%. It would probably have to be several people have told me that. Before I would actually recommend. Liliana, hi. Liliana says, do you have rentals in your complex where you live? Yes, from time to time. In fact, there are right now. I don't give out my exact location on the internet. If you want to book a consult with me, and you're ready to move, then I'm happy to. I'm not in the rental real estate business. It's not providing me any income of any kind. But for somebody that's moving here, so you're in the final phases and you're looking for your place to live, then I'm happy to find out, because there is it's kind of like a Facebook group. It's called WhatsApp group for my whole community, and I can find out who has places for rent at that time. But I don't want to keep bothering people, in my community and keep posting that unless, somebody's here and ready to look at something. So, but I'm happy to help with that, once you're here. And I know you're a real person. You're not a stalker on the internet, like being creepy and trying to find out where I live. Oh, Huli, bye. Thank you so much for helping today. You're the best. You're fantastic. I don't know what I'd do without you. And I know you answered so many questions for people in here. I really, really appreciate it. So anyone that wants to talk to Huli more and have her actually analyze your exact situation, help you with all your questions about healthcare and taxes and immigration and all of that, her link is in the description below, all of my videos. Gordon says, I have Colombia's highest peak behind me at 18,900 feet, snow-capped mountains and beaches. Where are you with 18,000 feet right behind you? I'm curious to know. I can't wait. At some point I will be exploring more of Colombia. But I shouldn't say I can't wait because that means something about Petunia. But yeah, I will be out and traveling more when I am actually living solo. Yeah, true solo. Senior female retired expat. I will be out and about. So that sounds incredible with snow. I know there's snow-capped mountains in Colombia, but I didn't know it went up to 19,000 feet. Wow. Gordon's saying, look on the map, haha. Here I'm telling everybody else that. Hey, I'm just asking, be nice here. I'm in the middle of a live, Gordon, so I'm not going to be pulling up the topographical version of YouTube maps right now of Colombia. But believe me, I am a research person. I try to use my intuitive side as much as possible. I used to rely strictly on my intellectual side all my life. I try to have a balance, but believe you me, I am going to be, this is what I love about the internet. People give a hard time. My God, you can look up anything. This I find fascinating. I'm going to find out where the highest, after this live, probably this evening, as entertainment purposes for me, I am going to see where the highest elevations are in Colombia. And I'm going to probably watch some YouTube videos, and I'm going to go visit there someday, but I'm going to visit it on YouTube. And there are some great channels. They're more travel-oriented channels. Oh my gosh, I wish I could think of the names of some of them, with creators that travel all over Colombia. Oh my gosh. A lot of these places I can't go because I have a couple of physical issues. I mean, I shouldn't call it a disability. It's not, but I definitely can't go on hiking trails and stuff like that. And so many of these cool places you can only access. Although some places they will have horses that will bring you in. And that's one thing I can do still, is ride. So I hope that I'll be able to explore a lot of just amazing areas in Colombia. I look forward to it. Hey, Luis. Yeah, somebody asked me earlier, but I'll answer. You're asking if there's public transportation available in your area if you don't want a car. Yes, but it doesn't, none of the buses go up my little mountain road. It's a private road, and it goes up like close to 3 miles zigzagging to the top of this mountain that I'm on. It only takes me like 8 minutes to get down it, but it's another 1,000 feet up, and there's no bus service up here. So I knew when I found the place. That's the other thing, guys. I mean, you can't have absolutely everything perfect when you go move anywhere. So, it's a give and a take. When I was looking for real estate, an apartment to buy, I wanted a view and I wanted to be close to public transportation. And you can do that. You can have that here. But I fell in love with, and you can see I'm like airplane view, what I have. And there was just something about this apartment. I fell in love with it. I had to have it. And it was below the budget I wanted to spend. And I rationalized it in my head. Hey, I can use that extra money and get a car. I love that apartment so much, and I don't mind the extra 10 minutes, up away from, where everybody else is, to live up here. So I included a car. But to answer your question, no, there's public transportation all throughout this region. I'm just in a weird part. And I know from my expat friends that don't have a car, that if they ever are in a such situation and they're buying something like really big, they can't get it on a bus, then they just Uber. And it's like pennies on the dollar compared to an Uber in the US. So yeah, there's always ways to get around here. Not hard. Wow, good. Gordon's giving like all this information about all these great places in Colombia. Yeah, I've heard about those labyrinths. I've actually watched a lot of YouTube videos of other areas of Colombia. I can't wait to see. Yes, Owen, the internet is amazing if used correctly. It's to me, replaced having to go to the library, but so much. I'm a visual person. I've always been a visual learner, and it just like has all the bells and whistles for me. So I am an internet junkie. I'm a YouTube junkie. I mean, I relate to things visually, and to have that at our fingertips is just amazing. I'm very thankful for the internet. I love it. And the other technology that I love is like what we're doing right now. I remember that on the Jetsons, like they were FaceTiming each other. As a little kid, I thought, oh my God, having a TV screen like on your wall and you're talking to someone on the phone and you're seeing them, I thought was like the most high-tech, futuristic, cool thing. And that happened in the Jetsons. But what has not happened from the Jetsons, and I'm wondering if it will, when they got in their cars, they were hovercrafts. You remember that cartoon? And they were all hovercrafting, so there were no more roads. It was like really, really cool. So I wonder if that will happen someday. And of course, they would be ecologically friendly with no petrol use. They're probably, some form of uh, energy or power that's clean. But no, that didn't happen. But being able to talk to your friend on the screen, I remember, I forget the wife's name. She'd be like cooking dinner. Remember all the crazy, they're probably similar to a micro. I'm going to look that up on YouTube. I'm going to look at some old reruns of Jetsons. Love the internet. And I'm going to see visually like what has come to play. But I remember her like having like these instant dinners would come out. And then her husband's talking to her and he's like on the screen. And I was thinking, that is so wild. Oh, that could never happen. And it has. Oh, Edward brings up a good point. He says, nice two-bedroom apartment in a gated condo complex in Cali. That's Cali. That's another city, not near me, but another part of Colombia. Is only $350 a month. Now, I'm sure it varies. I'm sure a lot of places are more, but I do know for a fact that Cali is less expensive than where I am. Remember, I'm in the Hamptons of Colombia. This is like super high-end luxury, but it's much, much less expensive than the US. So my apartment would rent around 1,000 a month here. But again, I'm in a luxury development and everybody's seen my view on my channel. I'm kind of all plugged in. I don't know if I can turn and show you guys, but it's, there's probably a lot of glare and stuff. But like I'm in my dining room and it's just hard to see. I'm not in the best spot to see my view, but I would call it $1 million view. So it's like, but, and I bought this place for $165,000. So, yeah, your money goes really, really far here. And actually in consults all the time when I'm talking to people, because we talk about budget and things like that, if they're really, really tight on budget, I will recommend other areas of Colombia, including Cali. So thanks for mentioning that. And that brings up another point in my video last Sunday, I think it was. It's so important, everybody, that if you're changing your entire life, and one of the main reasons you're changing it is to give yourself just that freedom of worry of finances, of not having to work anymore. So if you're retired, you don't want to be a Walmart greeter when you're 90 years old. It's just, yes, it's doable. And there are many places in the world that you can move to. But what I want to point out is that you always want to have a cushion. You don't want it tight. They say 30% of your income should go towards your housing. Well, stick to that. There's a reason for that. I would even get it even less than that if you can. So you always make sure you have that nest egg. And speaking of nest eggs, you shouldn't come with no savings at all, because stuff happens in life. Things happen. Or what if you do have to leave the country and move somewhere else? The whole reason for you moving, most likely from the US or Canada or wherever you're watching from right now, is to give yourself that weight off your shoulders that I talk about all the time, that I have now. I feel relieved and relaxed. I don't have any pressure. I don't have to work. And that's a glorious feeling. So you don't want to embark on your new life and just have, even if it's just a glimmer of a little worry or concern here and there, you don't want that. So always evaluate, what your income is, what your savings is, and make sure you have plenty of wiggle room there so that you're never under any stress, because that's not the point of moving and becoming an expat in another country. Okay, I'm going to take a drink break here. Okay, we've gone from over 100 people down to 95. So I'm probably not going to stay on too much longer because Petunia is being a little bit restless, a little bit early. She's not asking me to go out yet, but she's getting a little close. So I'll stay on as long as I possibly can. As you all know, Nana can talk forever. In fact, in my consults that are 1 hour consult, it says in the booking link, I think one time is because the people had to leave. It wasn't me. I've never done a consult that ended up being less than 90 minutes, like ever. So, and I have gone as long as 2 hours, I'll admit. So, and that's all gratis. I mean, totally complimentary. I don't charge anymore for that. So that's just me. And here I am in the live, just going on and on. Have to get some fluids here. Hold on. Hi, Liliana. Oh, Liliana says, I will be having a video call with you this coming week. I remember, and I'm very excited about it. I'm also visiting your area in January. Yes, I know. Is there any nice hotels near El Retiro town? Yeah, when we're on the consult, I'll go over all of that with you. We do have a vetted list of hotels to stay in, so I'll be able to help you with that. Oh, Ellie Lee is asking how much is a good nest egg? Well, that's interesting. When people just comment or ask a question that's a little more arbitrary like that, meaning arbitrary is I don't know you. I don't know your lifestyle. I don't know your budget. I can't answer that. But what I would say in general, what a good nest egg would be is you should have enough. You should have enough money left over every month. So if any surprise thing happened, and when you're in a country like Colombia, surprise things aren't super expensive. Like, you need a locksmith or something like that. But you just don't want to have like dread or gloom, or like, for instance, dental work is, I can't, pennies on the dollar, but still, like, you find out you need 3 root canals and 3 crowns. You want to be able to afford that, should that come up 1 month or 2 or 3 or whatever. But as far as a nest egg, what I would say, I can't give you a dollar amount, but what I would say that you need put aside is enough that you could move your entire life, and keep in mind, the moving process is not, some people don't even consider that. The moving to the country that you've chosen is going to cost money. Your visa, the government fees, the, expert, person that you hire, which you should, to do that for you. All of those things. It's never, I mean, Anytime in my life I've ever moved, it's cost me money. Even if I moved every belonging, which of course you're not going to do if you leave, go to a new country. But I've been sure, oh, I'm not going to spend any money. Sure enough, I get to my new place, my trash can didn't fit under the sink, and I need this and that. And there's just always all these things you end up having to. The hamper used to fit here, and now you need something and it doesn't fit. You need a new hamper. So all of that adds up. So you have to have your moving costs, but as far as nest egg, you have to have all of that put away in case you end up not liking it, or something comes up and you have to move. Let's say that you're leaving the United States and you're sure that everything's hunky-dory with everyone, all of your, adult children are fine or whatever, but you have an elderly aunt that you love so much, but she's doing fine. What if something happened in her life and you decided, you know what, I can't be in Colombia anymore. I have to move back to the US and move in and take care of my aunt. I cannot put her in a nursing home. I'm just bringing up arbitrary. You would have to have enough to move everything and yourself back to the United States. Let's say you're not living in her home, get set up again, all of that. So what I'm saying is you have to have enough money put away so that no matter what your choice is, that you're not locked in. And especially if you're moving to a country where the wages are so low, the cost of living is low for us, but if you have a way to make money online and make some extra money, that's great, according to the US dollar or the Canadian. But you're not going to be able to save very much money or make very much money on Colombian income. So again, keep all of that in mind and have enough money put aside that if you needed to move your life again, that you would be able to. So that's how I would answer that. Oh, Fernando. I am Colombian with dual citizenship and have lived in Canada for over 20 years. From experience, I know patience, discipline, and integrity. I love that word. That's one of my favorite words. I know that patience, discipline, and integrity are key when settling in a new country. That's so important. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you, Fernando. And I'm sure you have a wonderful life in Canada. Oh, and God bless you too, Fernando. You're so sweet. Oh, and Coach is making a good point about Pereira. It's closer to Cali. It's considered a small version of Medellin, much more walkable, safer, cheaper. Yeah, I mean, there's other parts of Colombia. I'm not in the only part. So, absolutely. That's why I tell everybody you've got to come visit. So many of the people that come here and do the tours with us, they're in Bogota, they're in Cali, Pereira. Some even go, even though it's a major climate difference, to Cartagena area, the northern coast, where it's much hotter. But if they're still unsure, I mean, you come and flights within Colombia are so inexpensive. So inexpensive. And it's not a huge country. So it's pretty big, but it's small enough. It's not going to be a super long flight or anything. But if you are really not sure because you haven't been here and you want to check out some other areas, I encourage you to do that. Absolutely. 100%. And especially if you're in a super tight budget situation and you want to find, $350, $400 a month rent in a super high end place. I mean, I don't know if that exists there because I just haven't researched on that level in that area. But for those of you that are curious, start researching it online and come here. But don't rule out this area either. If I've given cost of living, in my videos before. I've had specific ones on that. So if you feel it's affordable for you here too, visit here too. Luis is asking if the prices on apartments in my Colombian, have they remained the same or have there been changes? They've been rising. The real estate market is really strong and has been for the last close to 2 years since I've been here. Is it skyrocketing? No, but it's going up. It's a strong market here. Colombia is doing really well, and it's not strong because of expats. I point that out all the time. There is not a huge influx. I mean, I never see Americanos or gringos, whatever you want to call us, when I'm out and about. I just don't. If I'm at an expat group, thing, yes. You guys can look at my videos when you see me like eating in a restaurant, whatever. Those are all Colombianos all around me, and I love them. So it's not being, these prices have nothing to do with from people like me moving here, maybe helping like that much. I mean, not much at all. So no, I think it's a great thing that Colombia is doing so well as a country. And there's Petunia, not quite ready to go out yet. She'll let me know. So yeah, it's just like anywhere. If it's a desirable area, is sooner better than later as far as coming down, finding a rental or finding something to buy. Absolutely. But on the flip side, as somebody that bought here 19, 20 months ago, my home, my apartment has appreciated, and that makes me feel happy and good. And I would feel very comfortable if I had to do it right now. Would I, like, if I didn't own anything here, would I buy right now? Yes. I mean, I see the development going on here, and it's not going away. It's continuing to be just a great and popular area to be in, and very desirable for Colombianos. Hi, Greta. Thanks for joining us. Oh, you're so welcome. I love doing the videos. Oh, grumpy old mother's asking, what expat groups do you belong to? Many of them. Just put, when you're on Facebook, I also joined WhatsApp groups, but you have to have a WhatsApp number. Those groups that I belong to are private. Yeah, just put the word expat in, and the town or the region or the city of Colombia, and you'll see tons of groups. Most will allow people in if they're only interested in moving to Colombia. Yeah, I encourage everyone to look in those groups as well for information. Yeah, Boink is saying something that I know not everybody does that's watching right now. Colombia has one of the best economies in Latin America. Yes. And it's been strong for a very long time. And it's one of the oldest democracies in all of South America. And it's been super strong for the many, many, many. I think I got it wrong in one of the, I'm so bad with numbers. Oh my gosh. How long has Colombia been a democracy? Since somewhere in the 1800s, and I can't remember the date, but it's been a really, really long time. So it's one of the oldest democracies. There was only a little glitch back before I was born. For a couple years, some military guy tried taking over, and he was ousted out. So Colombia is not Venezuela. I mean, there's not any sign. I see all of this like craziness. You're always going to see crazy stuff about politics and stuff. Right now, there's a left-leaning president. Doesn't mean that Colombia's democracy is crumbling. There's about to be another election. And by the way, I know in some Latin American countries, like, you have like crazy amounts of like demonstrations and all. I've never witnessed anything like that. I know a couple of times in Medellin, since I've lived here in close to 2 years, there have been, like, I think there was a teacher strike and there was a demonstration for that and something else. But there isn't like major political upheaval or anything like that going on. And when you hear of like a guerrilla thing, it's not guerrillas trying to overtake the government. When guerrilla just means that it's not a government military, it's sort of like a non-entity, and it's usually not a good entity. But there is some of that on the Pacific coast, which is not well inhabited, in Colombia, having to do with drugs, and then I know on the Venezuelan border. So this guerrilla activity it's bad people, like drug people, prostitution people, and stuff, and they're fighting amongst themselves for territory and for ways to move their people. Sadly, prostitution and drugs and things like that. It's what I think a lot of people, they see the word guerrilla and they think that it's people living out in the jungle in the country and they're forming militia because they want to overthrow the government. And that's not going on in Colombia. There's nothing like that. So I don't worry about those types of things. I don't get involved heavily politically. It's been a huge relief for me. I used to be involved politically and volunteer and do all sorts of things for years in the United States. I had certain causes I really believed in. And it's been a huge relief for me not to watch. I watch headlines because it's important to me to stay abreast of what's going on in the United States. And I still love my country, and I believe in my country and its democracy. I believe in it. And so I do kind of want to keep a handle on what's going on, but I don't stress out over it, at all anymore. I believe that love and goodness and always rises to the top. There have been significant times in history. Oh my gosh. Even my own dad lived through the Great Depression and World War II, and he ended up with a very happy life. So yeah, I think I just try not to focus on that. And that's another really nice part about expat life is you can leave a lot of that behind. Still vote, by the way, you can vote. If you're a U.S. citizen, you don't lose your citizenship. Sometimes people ask that, oh, can you still get your Social Security and stuff? No, you don't. If you move to another country, that's your money, by the way. You paid into that. So no, and there's crazy stuff on the internet saying there's some executive order or something that says that's going to be taken away. It's BS. It's not true. It's there. As long as Social Security still exists, you can still get your benefit. I'm not going to go into how you do it in this video, but you just have to set it up a certain way. Or you can keep a US bank account. That's easy too. And just have it, the direct deposit, just go there. And then you can move your money over to Colombia. It's not rocket science, very easy. So you don't lose that and you can still vote. So that's a good thing too. Oh, thank you, Phoenix. See, this really helps me when Colombians come in to just my general comments on all my videos, but also here today. Thank you, Phoenix. Because, I'm just learning about this country. A lot of my warm and fuzzies are just warm and fuzzies. And, I need to become more abreast on, financial, just a lot of things with the history. I've just dabbled in it a bit, but it really helps to hear from people that are Colombian. And Phoenix says the currency in Colombia is super stable. Officials are very restrained in their fiscal policies. We never have any hyperinflation. And yes, I had read that before. And I know that, for instance, remember in the United States, what we all went through right after COVID, I laughed because it was one of the highest it's ever been at 17%. And I went to the grocery store and go, like, how much is it? Like a box of the spinach that I'd make salad with, like, used to cost like $2, and then it was like $8. I'm like, that's not 17%. Anyway, I know you want to go there, but anyway, it was like super high. Well, again, I can't remember the number, but I think the highest, and again, please guys, don't give me a hard time if you get it wrong, but I think the highest that Colombia got was like 7 or something, not 17%. Yeah. So no, I know that as far as money goes, that the government is very, very conservative. And everything, by the way, is based on the minimum wage of the people uh, as far as things. And they keep a handle on that. And I'm very impressed with Colombia and how it takes care of Colombians as far as their pensions, as far as government health that they offer their people. And yes, they do keep a handle on money and making sure that it just doesn't get, inflation, deflation, all of that get crazy and out of hand. Z is asking a question. Actually, I've talked about a bunch because a lot of people have commented and asked about it. So I'm not going to go into any detail. But Z asks, what is the culture like around tolerance towards age, sex, religion? I assume sexual orientation you mean too. Absolutely. The most open I've ever encountered in my entire life. I cannot believe what it's like here on all respects. And you can scroll up in the playback and read, and actually read Hooli, my concierge's comments about that too. It's unbelievably friendly and open. And I don't even see people staring at other people like in the United States. You would, there's a lot of staring that goes on, with somebody a little different. And I mean different in any way. Like even somebody that is, say, on the spectrum or, physically handicapped. No one. I mean, you just don't see that like gawking, staring, scowling, none of that here. Well, Owen and Gordon, oh my gosh, you're just like hanging out with me all day. I'm impressed. So I'm talking the whole time and you're typing the whole time. But you've been here a long time. But thank you. Oh, yes. Oh, you're so right, Diana. And I love it. That's one of my favorite things. Diana says, Nana, you may enjoy this evening a cup of tea, panella. That's fresh lemon with slices of ginger. And if I'm correct, it also has the cane sugar in it too, correct? I think so. So, yes, and I don't mean like granulated sugar made from sugar cane, but when you get, I'm probably saying it wrong, panea, I think it's pronounced. No, they take like the sugar cane and it goes through this like cranking machine, and the juice comes out of it, and that's what's used to make the drink. I mean, it's like fresh juice from fresh sugar cane with the lemon in it, and you can add ginger, whatever you want. But yes, that cane juice is sweet and delicious. Oh, I love your question, Elle. I've actually mentioned this in other videos because I hate bugs. I hate rodents. I hate anything creepy crawly. Ugh. Um, Ella is asking, no, it's not a stupid question, Ella. Uh, but with your air conditioning not being common in many areas, yeah, I don't need it. It's like I don't need heat. I don't need air conditioning. It's perfect temperature all day, all night. It's crazy. But she's asking, does it mean there's problems with insects or roaches? And I've never seen a roach. There are no mosquitoes in my area. I know some parts of Colombia have mosquitoes. There aren't any here. I'm in a really high elevation. There's no areas of standing water. If there's water, it's running down the mountain. So it's like moving. But no, there's nobody has screens. It's like the crazy. I thought for sure. I was like, even when I first moved here, I was like keeping the in the evening, and especially when I went to bed at night, making sure every window was closed and stuff. But no, it's just not a buggy area. And I would have put up with that. I've put up with that in my life, living in Florida, for instance. I've traveled all over the world. The happiest I ever was when I lived in California, because there's no mosquitoes, just very few bugs in general. And that's because it's actually very arid, very desert-like in Southern California. But here it's lush. It's crazy. It's the best of all worlds climate-wise. I just don't even know how to explain it. But I have not, other than some like crazy looking caterpillars outside, not had it. Like there's some really there's some that are like this big and they're like striped and furry. I've never had one in my apartment, but if I did, I wouldn't want to kill it because it's a butterfly probably, or a moth, but I wouldn't want to pick it up and move it. I'd probably get like a piece of paper and pick it up that way and then take it outside. No, it's not an insect area. Oh, Grumpy's asking how much stuff do you bring with you? Um, that's a very good question, and that's individual. Some people only bring the limit of 2 suitcases, per person, and they start all over again. Depends on what you have and what's near and dear to you, how much you want to downsize. I paid, and I'm happy to refer to the company, um, yeah, in one of my consults, I used a great shipping company. They were like half the price of other shipping companies. They specialize in shipping to Colombia, and actually, they became good friends of mine. But yeah, they ship out of Miami, but most things that come to Colombia go out of Miami anyway, no matter where you are in the US. But anyway, I decided to do a pallet, which was a little bit around my height, and I'm almost 6 feet tall, and then probably like 42 something by 42. So a column, but really wide column all the way up. So that sets on a wooden pallet, and then I packed my back boxes, tubs, and everything, and they did all the shrink wrap around it. Forklift went on a container, and that container is shared with other clients. They do full containers too, but there's no need to move all your furniture, all that kind of stuff. It's so inexpensive here. You're better off giving it to friends, donating it, or making money, putting it on Facebook Marketplace. In a lot of cases, I mean, I was able to buy the stuff that I have here for what I sold on Marketplace. Used, pennies on the dollar kind of money I was making. I was getting really nice stuff here. But I decided I didn't want to let go of absolutely everything. And I'm hard to fit. I'm taller. I was moving to a place where people are smaller. My shoe size for women, I'm a size 10 shoe. I knew I probably couldn't find in Colombia. So I wanted to make sure I had like my favorite shoes and all that kind of stuff. I had artwork. And I thought I had room in this pilot. I mean, a lot of room for $1,000. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I put my kitchen wares in there? I'm going to put because I had nice plates. I didn't do glasses because those might break, but I did all my nice plates and mugs. I did my cookware. I did like my blender, my food processor, cooking utensils. I even did some accessories around. I don't know, you can't really see any right now, but yeah, I had some cute like tabletop things and this whatnot, my placemats. I got a lot in there. And I know, I mean, even though things are cheaper in Colombia, I had certain things I needed to put in that pallet, and then I thought, I'm just going to throw all the rest of this stuff in too, because that's less to have to buy. But I know many people that come here just without a suitcase, and they end up with beautiful things here very inexpensively. So that's 100% up to you, what you feel like doing. Oh, somebody wants to see my view again. Ooh, it's about to rain actually. Remember I told you the weather changes all the time in the mountains. So people say, "Oh, does it rain?" I see, oh, if you look on the weather report, it shows rain every day because at some point during the day or night, it's probably going to rain for like a half an hour, maybe an hour. So right now it's super cloudy. It's looking off to the left. This is my dining room, so it's kind of an obstructed view right now. I have no idea what you guys are seeing. Sorry. I'm just, but I urge you guys just to look at other videos where I have my view at my back. For the live, I actually, it was super sunny for 90% of the day while I've been doing this. If I'm backlit, even though I use a ring light too, but with a ring light, I'm really in the dark. When I do those videos where you see all my view behind me, the ring light isn't enough. I actually, when I go into editing, I have to go into an app and light up only my face so that you can see it because it's like literally in shadow, so you can see in the back. And I can't do all that in a live. So that's why we're stuck just looking at me and my stuff and not nature. But I've got plenty of videos where you see that. And I show that a lot in my apartment tour video. So you can see my view. Hey, Bruce. Bruce says, I heard a piece on NPR. Oh, well, hopefully NPR is still going. I think with private donations, it's still there, but that's something that makes me sad right now. I love my PBS or loved and my NPR. Bruce is saying that he heard a piece on NPR yesterday about the electric bills in South Florida. I remember them well, trust me, like $400 a month because AC usage in the heat. Yeah, and you don't need air conditioning in this region of Colombia. It's just the area of the eternal spring. It's never too hot, never too cold. It's just always the perfect temperature. And then at night it drops down into like the mid to upper 50s. So it's never even cold at night. I mean, it's perfect, and low 70s during the day, maybe maximum like 74 where I am. Medellin's hotter. It's lower elevation, and it's surrounded, it's kind of like a bowl with mountains. So it tends to hold the heat. Oftentimes there's like a 9 or 10 degree difference between my mountaintop over El Retiro and Medellin. I mean, so if they have a day that's like 85, I would be at 75, and I rarely have 70, probably be more like 74. So if you can imagine, you're in a high-rise building, you don't have that cross ventilation, and all that. You need air conditioning when it's 85 degrees out, right? And it's a city. There's not a lot of breeze. The air quality is not great there. So almost every single condominium building, if it's not brand new, has had to put mini splits all throughout their apartment because they can't. If it were, even 10 years ago, they could have gotten away with it, but not anymore. So just a changing world. Things are getting hotter. So that's just how it is. But yeah, back to the electric bill. It's always interesting in comments when people say things, and I'm not saying this to be critical at all, but what we have to use is our critical thinking when we're seeing somebody write something. So somebody wrote electric bill $400 in South Florida. Somebody else said, well, mine was 500. But what we have to keep in mind, we don't know if somebody has an 8-bedroom house. We don't know if they're in a condo building. A condo building, you have all the insulation, especially if you're in the middle, if you're not on an end unit, you have somebody above you, below you, on both sides, your electric bill is going to be lower. So again, as I say, it's relative, right? So, but I was last in a condo, but I had been in a house, and this was, a house like 7, 8 years ago. And yes, it was typical in the warmer months. That used to be in the summer. The summer used to, oh, I have a big bird. You see, he scared me. Can you see him, guys? I'm sorry. That's why I had to show you why I jumped. I can never remember their name. It's like chakalaka, because they make this sound, but they fly, and they're way up high in the trees, but they actually eat like little ground grubs, and then they eat the fruits in the trees all around me. But they're kind of in a like turkey or quail family, and they have a really loud cackle when they wake up in the morning. They go flying by my windows. It's really cute. But no, a really big one tried to land where I am in the dining area. The balcony is not in this section. It's a big sliding window in the second half, and there really isn't much of a ledge. And he landed, and it just wasn't enough to hold on to. So he was like going, whoa, and then jumped up on my balcony. But anyway, he's gone. Now I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I have no idea what I was just talking about. Oh, air conditioning. So yeah, so in Florida, now the summer that used to be like maybe 5 months, it's now extending beyond 6 months of the year, where you just have that enormous heat and humidity. There basically is a break in Florida. Used to start like the end of September, early October. Now it doesn't start until November, where temperatures drop and the humidity drops sometime in November. And then it goes way back up again, like the end of April, early May. So you don't get much of a break. And that's the high season, by the way. If anybody goes to Florida, you're going to pay top dollar. If you come down like anywhere from Christmas to Easter, coldest time up north in the United States. Perfect weather. It's like the weather I have here. It's like in the upper, mid to maybe upper 70s, usually around 75 every day, and every night is like upper 50s. And that's why it's such a popular area, because people experience that during those winter months. Well, here in this region of Colombia, we have that year round. So going back to electric bills in Florida, let's say it was in January, occasionally we'd have a frost. So if you turned your electric heat on, you would have a huge bill. But I'd always just bundle up, even if it was a frosty night. So my electric bill in the winter would be like much, much less than it would be, like maybe $150 in a house, and then on up to like $400 a month for the other 8 months of the year when it was hot and humid. So anyway, those kind of questions are relative. It depends upon where you are and what type of home you're in and all those things. But yes, it's a huge savings on my electric bill has always been under $30 a month. And my gas, about $5 a month. So I have gas, water heater, gas stove, gas oven. Yeah, that's what my utilities run here. Not much. Everybody's asking about a Craftsman shipping company. I don't know who that is. Who I use, that's so inexpensive. A mom and pop company, just unbelievable. You're not going to find like a major website or anything on them, but trust me, like every expat I know has been using them for years. They've had the business for almost 40 years now, and it's called GVA. So G George, V Victor, A Apple. GVA International is the name of the company. It's located in Miami, and that's where you need to, or you should get a quote from. I shouldn't say need, but you should, because you'll be pleasantly surprised. And they do partial areas in the container, and really personalized service. And if you're in their proximity, which I was like a 2-hour drive away. That price that I said, that $1,000, that included picking it up at my house on the other coast of Florida, bringing it to them, packing the whole pallet, and getting to Colombia, getting on a truck in Colombia, and coming right to my door in Colombia, which is nowhere near the port, many, many hours away. All of that for $1,000 for that big, gigantic pallet. So I was super pleased with them. Liliana is asking for the appreciation of my apartment since I bought it. It was about 20 months ago that I bought it, and I bought it for 165 US dollar, and one sold recently for 185. But or was it 180? I'm really bad at remembering numbers. But I would say to get an apartment like this right now would run around 180 to 185. Oh, Gordon's clarifying. He's saying use local craftsmen for your furniture. Absolutely. I only shipped a pallet of personal belongings and housewares and art. My paintings, by the way, I took off the stretcher bars and rolled them. Just as paintings were rolled and hidden from the Germans during World War II. I know all of those tricks, and I had them restretched here. But no, he's saying, no, you do not want to move furniture really at all, unless you have some like family heirloom, something, because it's going to be a lot of money to move furniture. And the quality of the furniture that they make here in this region of Colombia is unbelievably beautiful. You can see it on my apartment tour, all beautiful hardwood woods, none of the, imported from China junk. And everything's custom made with the fabrics, everything that you want to use. You have a huge selection. So yeah, he's right. You don't want to move big stuff at all. Juris is asking about mosque. I don't believe right in my area. Juli's not in the room anymore. Right in the El Retiro, Rio, possibly in Rio Negro. Just Google it, but I know for sure that there are in the city of Medellin. It's a major metropolitan city, and I have seen women in habats, with their head coverings and stuff. So I know that there must be mosques. Boink is saying very few. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure, but I'm sure there's a place for them to worship. I'm sure there's a place that they can go to. Z is asking, yeah, it's not much point making a comparative study of utilities. No, there's not. Just no, you're like not going to be paying everything. My high speed internet is like, again, I just don't remember numbers, so I don't want anybody mad at me because I've done cost of living video right when I first started, so I had the exact numbers and they were not in my head because I do auto pay and stuff every month now. But I think my internet is like $20 a month, and it's fiber optic, high speed. And and I do a YouTube channel, and so I know it. I have to upload and download all these mega files and stuff. It is lightning fast. My son loves doing video games, and so he's a big fan of fiber optic. He told me about that years ago. And my last community in Florida had it. Not all do. A lot of places you just have to use the cable company like Comcast and stuff, and it's okay. But no, this fiber optic thing is just amazing. So, and I'm way up high on the mountaintop, so pretty much this whole region is all fiber optic and super inexpensive. I'm guessing, I'm trying to remember, I think I pay like 20 a month, 30 or less for my electric every month. My water is, I don't know, nothing, like maybe 10 or $15. I don't remember. It's nominal. Gas is under 10 a month, usually more like $5. So yeah, I mean, you barely even have to pay attention. If you're thinking of moving here, it's not going to be a huge part. And that's one of the reasons that I bought, guys, is because I just thought, oh my gosh, this is like it. I want a Shangri-La life. I want to get out from under this heaviness. I was starting to spend my savings more and more and more. I didn't want to go back to work. I had retired, but inflation kept going up and up and up and up. And I just refused to work. But in the move, I wanted to relieve all of that financial pressure. I just didn't want to have any big bills of any kind anymore. Fortunately, I had, paid off mortgages and stuff over my many years, and I was, able to buy my place with cash, my apartment here. And so I only have an HOA, which is 120 a month. It's a beautiful gated community, well worth it. And that's it. And those nominal utility bills that I told you about. And grocery shopping is really inexpensive compared to the US. And anything else that might happen, even if you had to pay full price without insurance and go to the dentist or doctor or something. I mean, it's just like, I don't worry about anything happening here because everything is so inexpensive for me. But that was a reason that I bought because I could. And I love not having any bills. I don't have to keep track of anything. I don't worry about anything. So it's just a good thing. Boink is saying, yes, Colombia is a very Catholic country. Yes, it is. Absolutely beautiful churches here. I mean, just incredible. Every single pueblo in the town square or piazza in Italy, we say parque in Colombia. In the parque at the head of the town square is the church, usually incredible. Every single pueblo has an amazing church. And then there's usually a park-like environment. Oftentimes on the weekends, that will be where fruit and vegetable vendors, all sorts of different types of vendors come and sell their wares. There are musical events that the municipality or the town itself puts on. I've seen all sorts of different types of music here, not just Colombian, at these events, and just fantastic. So yes, Catholic Church is a very important part of life and kind of the center of each community, if you will. Liliana is asking if I feel safe driving by myself in my town. I do in this whole region where I live. I don't feel safe in Medellin, mainly because, and you're going to see, I think it's on Wednesday. It's the funniest thing. I'm out with Johan, you guys are gonna meet for the first time, because I wanted to do a video and I need some help now with Petunia because she's getting older. So normally if I go into Medellin, I park right outside of the city in a really nice mall plaza, and then I Uber into the city. And I show you in this video what the traffic was like when we left this mall. It was a Sunday afternoon, so it was not a rush hour, was not anything. And you'll see, this is just a calm, normal day, supposedly, and what the driving would be like in that city and why I don't do it. But out here, I'm not afraid. If you're talking about like traffic or, is it like weird and stuff? No, you have to be aware of motorcycles, but you use your mirrors and stuff. I'm fine with that. If you're talking about personal safety, which I think is what you're asking about, sorry, Petunia's starting to bother me, so I'm gonna have to go in a second because she wants to go out, I think. Yeah, so as far as personal safety, I don't worry about it anywhere in the region where I live. I drive alone, just Petunia and I, to anywhere I want to go. If I'm going on a long trip, and I've done that, where I've done some other outlining areas that are more like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. For instance, I went to Concepcion. I went with friends, and that's because I don't know if the cell service is going to work everywhere along the highway. I don't want to be stuck stranded in the middle of nowhere. And my car insurance has roadside service. I don't even know how to even go through even asking for that on the thing. It would not be wise. And I just don't think it's safe for a woman in a foreign country anywhere to be just sort of out in the middle of nowhere with no self-service by herself. So anyway, that's your answer. I'm going to get Petunia. Everybody can say hi really quick. She's like wiggling. Nope. Sorry, she's ready to go out, guys, so I'm going to have to go. Careful, baby. Yeah, I'm going to have to leave. If I haven't answered everyone's questions, I'm sorry. But thanks again for joining. If you have any other questions, feel free to book a consult with me or my concierge, Juli Franco. I answer all things expat. And these are things according to the conversation that I'm having with you. It's not just general answers. And those are things that I can give in videos like this, that I give in the information when I'm making my YouTube, videos. But in a consult, I'm able to find out things about you, your likes, your dislikes, your lifestyle, your budget. And so when you're asking questions, then I can be like really, really specific and in great detail with my answers. And same thing for Juli, as far as immigration, insurance, taxes, all those kinds of things. She'll be able to ask all the questions so she can answer your questions properly. And I do also hope that everybody comes able to come down at some point and come visit. And if you do, we'd be happy to show you around. Our tours are great. And there's a link for those as well. They're private. They're customized just for you. I know in other places and countries, they do these tour bus things for people. No, I created the tours according to me not having that when I came here. And I was a little lost lamb. I figured everything out on my own, but boy, oh boy, was it hard. And I had no idea of half the stuff that we explain and show you on our tours. So anyway, they're all customized for you and give you a really good idea of places where you might want to be here or maybe might not want to be here. So super informative. So again, everybody, I just want to say thank you for joining me. Everybody saying goodbye. Love you guys. Thank you all for being part of my beautiful and amazing channel. Yeah, I can't believe there's still 96 people. There have been consistently close to or more than 100 people at all times in here. So thank you, thank you. Don't forget to like the video right now if you haven't. And for the parts that you missed, I doubt there are many. I know there are some that have been here for, let's say I'm so bad with numbers, I have to count with my fingers, that have been here for 3 hours and 38 minutes. For those of you who have, thank you. But I know most of you have not. So this will be on replay shortly. And so like a normal video. So if you want to watch more of it, you can later. Because I did answer a lot. I mean, you guys, for the last 2 hours and 38 minutes, have had some really good questions. So glad I can help. Love you guys and see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.